What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City live watch-along. Today we're going to be doing the live watch-along of Manchester City's game against Sheffield United in the Premier League. It's our final game of 2023, home match at the Etihad. All 5 trophies that City have won throughout the calendar year, from the FA Cup to the Premier League to the Champions League to the European Super Cup through to the Club World Cup, all on display today at the Etihad as Manchester City, the team, made their way into the Etihad Stadium, and it's one last big push in 2023 to try and put ourselves into a fantastic position ready for 2024 and what the year will hold. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. Now less than 600 subs away from my goal of 33,000 subs, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget, social media links, they're in the description and on the yellow banner too if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 100 likes once more. We're now less than 80 likes away. We're 77 away, so any help towards that would be sensational. And also don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the live chat, including where you're tuning in from today and also your score prediction. Heading over to the live chat, I can see that we've got Julia in the chat tuning in from Monte Carlo, going to see Phantom of the Opera tomorrow evening. Love that one, Julia. Thanks for tuning in, and I do hope you have a great time. Drew, thanks for tuning in, says good morning, Jay, as we enter into the afternoon. It's 3 p.m. kickoff GMT for today's game. Family, thanks for tuning in. Hello, do hope you are well. Boy Racer says, not must not lose like last week, but I'd be bitterly disappointed if we did. We need to win this game. We need to make sure the pressure's applied to everybody else. We saw on, was it Thursday evening, Arsenal lose at home to West Ham. Tottenham Hotspur lose away against Brighton. City need to capitalise. There's an opening. There's a chance here today. If Aston Villa drop points at home against Burnley, I'm not expecting that to happen, but if it does happen and Manchester City win today, we go second with a game in hand on Liverpool as well, and we still have Liverpool to play in the second half of the season as well. And all of a sudden, that doom and gloom that was here, 2-3 weeks ago, that's been there for the last 4 or 5 weeks, starts to just dwindle away. So Manchester City, for me, need to capitalise upon that. We've got bottom of the league in the Premier League today. We need to make sure that we win this game by any means necessary. Must-win game, home match against Sheffield United. I will go as far to say, we're not winning games like today, then we probably don't deserve to win the Premier League. It becomes very difficult to win the Premier League if you're not winning games against bottom of the league at home. But we saw it from New Year's Eve last year, near enough to the day where Manchester City had a home match against a struggling Everton side, and we dropped points. So Manchester City need and must be wary of that. Chris Wilder will set his team up to be very defensive. That low block, park the bus approach will be in place by Sheffield United. So Manchester City, they need to deal with that. And if Manchester City can, and we can break them down nice and early, that will put us into a very positive position into this game. Family, we'll speak more about Kevin De Bruyne when we speak about the teams in just one moment. Treble winners, thanks for tuning in, cheering on Kevin De Bruyne as well. John, thanks for tuning in, says predictions. I'll give my predictions once I've gone through the team in just 1 second. John, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Drew going for a 4-1 win. Family going for a 5-0 win for Manchester City as well. The Mr. Clutchy, thanks for tuning in, says, come on, we just won a treble. Can we have some positivity? There's always positivity here at Manchester City. 5 trophies won in 2023. What you want to be doing now, because once it hits Sunday, 2023 is in the past. It becomes history for Manchester City, and we need to stop thinking about what we've achieved in the past, because you're not in control of what's happened in the past. You're in control of what happens in the future. We've still got in the FA Cup. We're looking very good in the Champions League. Win today, and I'd go as far to say Manchester City looking good in the Premier League as well. So hopefully we can win this game and we can get the job done. So Going to go through the teams because the teams have been announced for this game. And of course, all talk is about Kevin De Bruyne returning to the Manchester City squad for today. So we have already had a confirmed result in the Premier League. It came in the early kickoff between Luton Town and Chelsea. Chelsea went 3-0 up in that game thanks to a couple of goals from former Manchester City man Cole Palmer. However, a late rally from Luton saw that game end 3-2 to Chelsea, but it is the 3 points for Chelsea and nothing for Luton Town, and they're looking at other results as they bid to try and stay in the Premier League. You've got some games taking place at 3 p.m. GMT today, including Manchester City taking on Sheffield United. You've also got Aston Villa against Burnley. We'll be keeping a close eye on that. You've got Crystal Palace taking on Brentford and Wolves taking on Everton in a game that's very important towards the bottom of the Premier League. You do have Manchester City's rivals Manchester United taking on Nottingham Forest away from home at 5:30 p.m. GMT in the Mark Goldbridge derby. North of the border in Scotland, it's been on firm day. It's not the same without away fans there. It really isn't. But at Celtic Park, Celtic have managed to pick up a massive win at Parkhead by winning by 2-1 against Rangers and giving them clear daylight now at the top of the SPFL. Is what's been happening today from around the ground. So, on to today's teams. We're going to start off with our opponent, Sheffield United, lining up with that expected 3-4-2-1 formation with Ahmedhodzic suspended, so that means that Wes Foderingham started in goal and a back three made up of Baldock, Robinson and Trusty, which is what we was expected. Jayden Bogle is back from injury and he returns in that right wing position, that right wing back position with Luke Thomas at left wing back. In central midfield, you've got Vinicius Sousa and Oliver Norwood, and then right hand side you've got Slimani, left hand side Brooks, and it's Osula that starts up top today for Sheffield United, with them being led by captain Jack Robinson with Chris Wilder in charge as their manager. Big call there for Chris Wilder. Cameron Archer, he started against Aston Villa, scored that all-important goal that grabbed them a point. Unlucky in the end, and it was only a point at Villa Park. He's on the bench. Oli McBurnie, he's on the bench as well. I thought it was going to be one or the other. Turns out neither of them are starting, and they've gone with Osula instead. So you've got Rhian Brewster, Oliver McBurnie, and Cameron Archer, all on the bench for Sheffield United today. Also joining them on the bench, you've got Adam Davies there, rotated backup goalkeeper. You've got Norrington Davis, Larouci, Sariki, Osborne, Traore, Brewster, McBurnie, and Archer are the Sheffield United squad for today. Moving on to Manchester City's starting 11 for this game, starting with Ederson in goal. It looks like it's going to be a back four, which potentially could be a back three made up of Kyle Walker, Manuel Akanji, Nathan Ake, and Josko Gvardiol. I expect to see one of Akanji or Ake pushing more into that defensive midfield role. More than likely going to be Akanji because he's the player that we've seen in that role supporting Rodri today due to the injury to John Stones. Also in central midfield is Mateo Kovacic and Phil Foden. So Matheus Nunes, the only change from that Everton match, of course, with that's not injury forced, as Matheus Nunes drops to the bench. On the right wing, Bernardo Silva, left wing, Jack Grealish, and also Julian Alvarez starting for Manchester City up top, with City led by captain Kyle Walker and manager Pep Guardiola. On the bench for Manchester City today, you've got backup goalkeeper Stefan Ortega-Moreno. Also joining him on the bench is the return of Ruben Dias. He's back from illness, which is great to see. Seems his illness has spread across Greater Manchester, worked its way from East Manchester all the way to JSGC, as I'm feeling grotty, and really horrible today, but we persevere. We crack on with a live watch long. It's a big game in the Premier League. City taking on Sheffield United. Last game of 2023 at the Etihad Stadium as well. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Also on the bench, you've got Rico Lewis, Sergio Gomez, Oscar Bobb, Matheus Nunes, Kalvin Phillips. Could play his last ever game for Manchester City today, get his last ever minutes in a City shirt, as he is expected to leave in the January winter transfer window, which is literally 2 days away. So in 2 days' time, Manchester City, I imagine, will be looking to try and sort out the future of Kalvin Phillips. It's great to see youngster Mika Hamilton on the bench once more for Manchester City, but all the headlines belong to one man. The return in the squad and on the bench today, no other than my ginger brother himself, Kevin De Bruyne. Fantastic to see, and you never know, he could get minutes today for Manchester City. It'll be his first competitive minutes of the season. It'll be his first Premier League minutes of the season as well. We've had to wait until right to the end of 2023 to get ourselves into this position to see some of Kevin De Bruyne. And for the second half of the season and beyond, everyone else in the Premier League and from around Europe, be scared of Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne returning back to Manchester City in the squad today. He may get some minutes. If he doesn't get any minutes today, I will guarantee you if he's fit enough to be in that squad, he will get minutes next week in our FA Cup match against Huddersfield. He could be good to start in 2 or 3 weeks' time when we play Newcastle away from home. If he's not ready for then, City will go into the winter break, come back fresh from there. I think is it Burnley? It might be an FA Cup 4th round match then. Burnley, right at the end of January. Kevin De Bruyne ready and waiting for Manchester City, so really looking forward to that. My score prediction for today, I put it out on Twitter. I'm matching with what I said in my preview. I don't think Manchester City are going to really bust a gut. This is our second game in 3 days. We've just fresh come back from Saudi Arabia. We've played a lot of games and a lot of minutes throughout the month of December. I think Manchester City, they'll want to do what we did against Crystal Palace. They'll want to attack, they'll want to score goals, they'll want to grab a couple of quick goals so they can start coasting in this game. I don't think Sheffield United have that attacking finesse that Crystal Palace have. So I don't fear that they're going to come forward and cause Manchester City too many attacking problems. If Manchester City are to drop points today, it will come about because Manchester City haven't done something properly, either a poor bit of defending or Manchester City simply haven't put their opportunities away. If City turn up and play to the best of their ability, Manchester City win this game. To me, it is as simple as that. But that doesn't mean I'm underestimating Sheffield United. Sheffield United, it's a free hit for them. They've got nothing to lose here. They will put that low block in place. They nearly beat Aston Villa at Villa Park. That's not an easy thing to do. They're going to go with the same approach here. And if they keep this to 0 for as long as possible, this could become a very anxious game for Manchester City. Need to be careful. Put the ball into the back of the net and we are good to go as far as I am concerned. 2-0 Manchester City, goals today for Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva. Now, some context, because we're now less than 13 minutes away from kickoff. This game isn't being broadcast, it's in the blackout here in the United Kingdom, so I will be using a stream to watch today's game. It does mean I'm probably, if you're watching this in real time from wherever you are around the world, I'm going to be a minute or two behind you guys, so I would really appreciate you guys if you didn't start posting lots of stuff in the comments, putting that there's goals or sending offs or big moments happening in the game, because I'm constantly keeping an eye on the chat, because I'm helping not only to moderate the chat, but also like to have great interaction with you guys. So my only favour that I ask for you guys is, whilst we have 3 PM games here in the UK, like today's game, please don't put that there's goals and things, because I see it. I know that something's coming, and I like to give as genuine a reaction for these games and these big moments for Manchester City. And I have just started to notice, if you put in fan reaction on YouTube, there's more and more fan reaction channels coming out there, and they like to post about Manchester City. They like to include JSGC on that. I don't want to start acting out for you guys. I want genuine passion. I want genuine emotion coming from me. If I know something's happening in the game, it's not going to be genuine. So 3 PM, the only way I can make it work is I don't want to disable the chat. So I just ask, please do not spoil anything for anybody, including myself, on the chat for you guys. You will realise from the clock just how far behind I am. There's nothing that I can do about that. In an ideal world, if I could afford it, I'd be a season ticket holder. I'd be at the ground and at the game, and I'd do match vlogs for you guys. I wouldn't have any of these worries or problems to think about, but it is what it is. We're doing live watch-alongs instead. We have a lot of fun doing these live watch-alongs. And like I said, I want it to be genuine, and that's the only way I can make it genuine for you guys, so I would appreciate that one. Other than that, the only other rule we've got, please keep it nice and friendly, nice and clean, no annoying everybody or spamming, or, you know, the general rules that you have when you're tuning in to a chat. And speaking of the chat, let's just head back to the chat. We've got Brian tuning in. Legend says the king is back. Love that. Kevin De Bruyne back for Manchester City today. And in the squad, Drew says we need to have Nunes getting more game time and playing regularly for Manchester City. I agree. You want to get the best out of Matheus Nunes. Regular playing time. I've been impressed over the month of December with his overall performance for Manchester City. I think there's still room for improvement. I think he can get better and better and better. But what I've seen of him so far, I've been impressed. Got off to a little bit of a slow start, as did Mateo Kovacic as well. But both of them starting to hold their own. And as I always say, you bring a new player into Manchester City Football Club, playing under Pep Guardiola, it's going to take a season or two to adapt. It's always going to be the case, and that's only when you can really cast judgment on whether a player is good enough, and does Pep Guardiola rate them enough that they're still in and around the City first team squad, because you could end up going the way of players like Jack Rodwell and Kalvin Phillips going down that avenue, or you could end up being like Ruben Dias or Rodri, where you end up hitting the ground running. İlkay Gundogan's another player, really hit the ground running for Manchester City. You improve season upon season, and after 2 or 3 seasons, you're right up there with some of the best players in the world. So that is what Manchester City will be aiming for when you bring in players like Mateo Kovacic and Matheus Nunes. So hopefully, fingers crossed, a good performance today for Kovacic, and if Nunes does come off the bench, hopefully he can take his opportunity as well. Abadash, thanks for tuning in, says Chelsea is finished. I won't repeat the words here, because I know a lot of people like to tune in and say JSGC, they like that things are kept nice and friendly and things are kept nice and clean in terms of the language as well. But Chelsea not having a great season, another loss for them. They seem to have little spells where they look good, that they think actually they could be a team competing for European places and maybe pushing further beyond and winning trophies, and then they turn up, don't play very well, and you think actually that's a mid-table club. Manchester United are having the same problem. They could very easily, by the end of the season, be, like Chelsea, a mid-table team. We'll have a drink to that. Love it. Peter, thanks for tuning in. Says what a player Cole Palmer is. He's going to be world class. We saw it right before we sold him. Cole Palmer got off to a rapid start this season for Manchester City. You felt like this was going to be the big make or break season for Cole Palmer, and he was ready to step up to the plate. He was looking very good for Manchester City, and then we decided to sell him. Got a good price, £40 million. Problem is, you give him all season at City, you know, you're probably looking at north of 60, 70 million pound player that you let go. I just feel like Manchester City have let a very good young player go. Is there room in the squad? I personally would have liked for us to have kept Cole Palmer at Manchester City. I wasn't too happy that we sold him. I'm not surprised to see him prospering and doing well at Chelsea. And if Chelsea's woes continue, I wouldn't rule out in a season or two's time Cole Palmer pushing for an exit from Chelsea and wanting to go somewhere else. We'll have to wait and see. Miguel, thanks for tuning in. Says, bless up, bro. Love that. Thanks for tuning in. Swapnil, thanks for tuning in. Says, how many minutes do you reckon Kevin De Bruyne is going to take? Drew says he reckons 25 plus minutes. If he is to come off the bench, I'd be surprised if it's more than 5, if I'm honest. It'll just be great to see De Bruyne back on the pitch, which, fingers crossed, that today will be the day. Mike going for a 3-1 victory today for Manchester City. Says, smash the like goal. 200 likes. That's very ambitious. We're already on 44. We're 6 away from 50. We always aim first and foremost for 100 likes. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well. Social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And also don't forget where you're tuning in from in the live chat and also your score prediction for today. JJ, thanks for tuning in. Says, new fan here, bro. Love that. Thank you very much for the support. Much appreciated. Family says, Foden, he's been world class for Manchester City. He reckons we're going to see a goal from our number 47 today. I do hope you are right. Going from strength to strength. How good was Phil Foden in our last match away against Everton? Absolutely fantastic. He's rewarded with that with another start here. Can he follow it up and grab another goal? Big season, I said before, for Cole Palmer. We chose to sell him. Phil Foden as well. Massive season for him. Gundogan, he's out. He's no longer at Manchester City. There's space in central midfield for any player that wants to grab that opportunity with both hands. Could Phil Foden be that player? Put the suggestion out there. Excuse me. Abanash says, Pep tax is real. So many taxes are real, my friend. So many. Don't we know it? David tuning in from Punta Cana. Tropical. I like it. Me gusta. Thank you for tuning in. Says, good morning. Still travelling, so watching the game with you again today. Thank you very much, David. Much appreciated. Where is the final destination if you're still travelling? Where are you heading to? Where is the end of the travelling? Let me know. Mike says, Palmer, miles better than Kovacic, but it is what it is, people. We decided to let him go. He's a good player. He's doing well at Chelsea. You know, we got a good amount of money for him. I'd like for City to have kept him. We haven't. We have to move on. He has to move on. We have to move on. It is what it is. JJ says the problem is that he wanted to leave as he was not promised a starting position. There's so many young players. Jadon Sancho is a prime example for Manchester City of a player that is offered more minutes and regular starts elsewhere. They want to push and become better and better, and they're going to do that through regular playing time. If you're a young player wanting to make it at Manchester City, it's going to require patience. It's going to require tremendous listening skills, and you're going to have to really apply yourself when you're given the opportunity. It's not easy to do for a young player to make that decision as well. At the moment, Phil Foden, he will prosper from his decision. Just takes a little bit of time. David says, final destination is Brazil. Very, very nice. Says Manchester born, living in Brazil. Love that one. JJ tuning in from South Africa as well. So I want to say a warm welcome to South Africa in the room. We've got Punta Cana in the room as well. Love that one. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Much appreciated. Right, I have waffled on long enough that we are now just 4 minutes away from kickoff, which means it's time as we're using the stream for me to go and find a stream for today's game. So please do bear with me. This is where JSGC gets all kinds of pop-ups on my device that I'm watching the game on today. If there's anything funny, I will of course let you know. And if there are anyone under the age of 18 tuning in, or people have got friends or family watching me right now, then do let me know, and I'll try and keep it clean. Because some of these adverts for some of you regular viewers, you know what I'm on about. It's very over 18, so hopefully we won't have too many unfiltered things happening. Fletcher, thanks for tuning in. Says Jamaica in the room. We're so tropical here on the JSGC channel. Everyone's got such nice weather as well. I bet the weather's gorgeous in South Africa, in Jamaica right now, and Punta Cana. You know, we've had a storm here in the UK. It's been like 7 degrees. It's not stopped raining. It's muddy everywhere. It's depressing. I don't think I've seen the sunshine now for at least a month. You can probably tell from my skin colour. I'm going to go very pale very quickly. I need a bit of vitamin D and a bit of sunshine in the room. Nicosi, Granada as well. Very jealous. We've got over 50 people in the room now. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Much appreciated. Project, thanks for tuning in. My prediction for today, sitting slightly on the fence, but I'm going to go for a solid 2-0 victory for City. I'm going for 2 second-half goals. I think Sheffield United will frustrate us first half. We'll break them down in the second. Goals today for Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva. Is my predictions. What's everybody else's predictions? Get them in the comment. I'm getting all kinds of adverts and no actual game. Maybe now. Maybe now! It's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. Mike, so many trophies. 5 trophies achieved by Manchester City. So we've had the players in the tunnel. They've made their way out. The lights are dimmed. There is going to be a tribute paid to everybody associated with Manchester City who's passed away in the year of 2023. We, of course, here at JSGC are going to have our heartfelt condolences and a moment of silence combined with Manchester City at this very sad time, as 2023 has seen some Manchester City legends pass away. We've seen fans pass away. I imagine there's probably subscribers of my channel that have passed away as well. So for the next minute or so, there's a minute's applause happening around the stadium, and I'm going to join in with them as well, as it's so important that people are remembered and not forgotten. So this is in memory of everybody who has passed away in 2023. Of course, one of the biggest legends that you've got at Manchester City is Franny Lee, that passed away this year. Had a statue put outside the Etihad as well. So we've lost some massive figureheads at Manchester City this year. And of course, you know, the festive period towards the end of the year can be very sad times for all the friends and family of people who are no longer with us. So I think it's important that they are remembered, that they do have tribute paid to them for all of their achievements and everything that they've offered to the football club, whether that be fans travelling up and down the country or people associated with the club as well. And we are going to observe a moment's silence now. And that is the moment silent, of course, observed impeccably at the Etihad. Get a nice image of Pete the Badge, cult hero at Manchester City, in the stadium as well, paying respects there to everybody who has passed away in 2023. And as I said, anybody that is struggling, the thoughts, well wishes, and condolences sent by everybody here associated with the channel. Fletcher tuning in from Jamaica. Love that. Wildcats tuning in from the Bronx in New York City. Leigh Wilson, thanks for tuning in. Says his bro is Arthur. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for tuning in. A couple of legends there tuning into the JSGC channel. As we do have kickoff here between Manchester City and Sheffield United. I'm just going to get a backup stream sorted for you guys, so we're always in the loop with everything happening. We've got over 60 people now in the room, which is fantastic. Welcome, everybody. Please don't forget to leave a thumbs up. We are 45 likes away from 100 likes. Also, don't forget to subscribe as well if you are new around here. Nearly a minute in here at the Etihad. Nothing to report on. It does look like Nathan Ake is playing as a centre-back rather than a holding midfielder, and it'll be Akanji going into holding midfield for Manchester City today. Here's Manchester City then coming forward. It's Bernardo Silva on the right wing. Of course, we've already seen Sheffield United camping everybody. Less than a minute into the game, already camping everybody inside their own half. That's their approach. Space will be difficult to come across. Zach, good day. Thanks for tuning in. Here's Manchester City then coming forward. We've already seen the opening goal of the 3 p.m. games. It's come in the match between Crystal Palace and Brentford, and it's Keane Lewis Potter that has given Brentford the lead at Selhurst Park as Grealish puts a ball in. An early shot comes in from City and it's just wide. Julian Alvarez. It's good work. It's a good ball played into the channel. A lovely flick. I think it was from Phil Foden. Falls very nicely to Julian Alvarez. Goes first time with his left foot. Glanced across goal. Can't be more than a yard or two wide. It's a good effort that from Julian Alvarez. Does go wide, so it does remain at the Etihad 0-0 between Manchester City and Sheffield United. Foderingham sends it long and far away from his own goal for Sheffield United. Loose second ball won by Manchester City, and Akanji does work it back to Ederson. You will see Sheffield United drop off now for this defensive performance as Manchester City look to build their own attack. Josko Gvardiol works it back to Nathan Ake. Here's Ake then to Akanji. Works now into midfield. Foden finds a pass to Bernardo Silva. So Kyle Walker going into that weird right wing position for Manchester City. I'm not overly that keen on Kyle Walker being in that position, mainly because I feel like it leaves Man City's defence exposed to counter-attacks, in particular any players with pace. And one of the quickest defenders at our disposal being played in a position where he's not going to be able to track back because you're playing him as a wing-back rather than closer to the centre-backs. Early cross comes in from Sheffield United, and that's a really good ball into the box. In terms of testing Ederson there, it's a good catch from Ederson. Nearly went over the line. A good catch from Ederson in the end. And Manchester City survive. Remember, it's going to be these crosses, it's going to be these set pieces that could be the outlet for Sheffield United in this game. So that's what Manchester City must be careful of. Here's City coming forward once more. Kyle Walker with the ball on the right-hand side, inside the Sheffield United half. Work to Manuel Akanji. There's no space. Akanji finds Kovacic, just worked backwards. And here's Rodri now, bringing City forward. Work to the right-hand side. Walker. He's got the support of Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva. Doesn't use either of them. Goes back to Akanji. Back to Kyle Walker. Again, no real movement. And there must be at least 6 players behind the ball at all times for Sheffield United. So if ever there's been a game that Manchester City I feel like needs to be extra clinical, today is that day. Break down this stubborn wall as quickly as possible. Ruin Sheffield United's game plan and open up this game. Akanji dinks a ball towards Gvardiol. It's a lovely touch. To the left-hand side, here's Jackie G into the penalty area. Given away. Poor from Manchester City, and Sheffield United can think of the counter-attack here. Not many players getting forward, running into danger, and ball given away high up by Sheffield United. They don't fully clear their lines, but it's poorly given away by Manchester City. And Osula can come forward here for Sheffield United, and it's good covering that by Kovacic. And that goes out of play for a throw-in to Sheffield United, as we've seen a couple of goals go in north of the border. Dunfermline are ahead against Ayr United. Falkirk are ahead at home against Stirling Albion, and a goal coming in from the National League, Josh Stones, not John Stones, Josh Stones, giving Oldham Athletic the lead against Hartlepool at Boundary Park. Drew says, next year we're going to need better finishing. Hopefully we'll get Haaland back sooner rather than later, as a long throw-in goes in from Sheffield United. Manchester City do manage to get a head onto it, and ball's just knocking around, and in the end, Man City can get a foot onto it to get it at least half cleared. Boy Racer says it annoys him when people say Ederson can't save. He has 3 consecutive golden gloves. He's just won a treble. And let's not forget how important some of them saves were in the Champions League final in helping us to achieve the treble as well. He's a good goalkeeper, Ederson. I think fans just get a little bit frustrated that we only ever seem to let 1 or 2 shots on target against us all game, and teams are finding the back of the net from them 1 shots. It becomes very frustrating for people, and they look at that and let that determine their opinion on Ederson. I don't think it's an Ederson problem. I think it's a system problem. It's how Manchester City play with a high line. It's exposed. So if teams do create opportunities against us, it means that teams are going to be, if they do create that one opportunity, it will be a really good chance as well, rather than half chances. City's dominant display means that teams aren't able to create them half spaces. There isn't space for players just to put free crosses into the box. There has been 1 or 2 games, I think Man City have been a bit too open for my liking, Chelsea and Spurs being a couple of them games. I do, however, feel like Man City are always prone to conceding at least 1 in a game, which means you need at least 2 to always win. And I think a lot of fans take a lot of reassurance when Manchester City do have a couple of goal advantage, that you've got a bit of leeway there for a defensive mistake or a goalkeeping mistake or a well-worked opposition team goal against Manchester City. End of the day, though, it's all about finishing and putting the ball in the back of the net. And if I was to criticise Man City at any point for this season, it's been game management, and it would be not putting our chances away. We've not had a problem scoring goals, but there's been opportunities for us to score more and more and more. And every now and then, Manchester City aren't being as clinical as what they could be or need to be. So there we go. As we've now got over 70 people tuning in. Much appreciated. Welcome, everybody. Now only 35 likes away from my aim of 100 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well. We're nearly 10 minutes into this game. In the 9th minute, it is Manchester City 0, Sheffield United 0. I think Sheffield United will be the happier of the two teams right now. They've currently limited Manchester City to only one opportunity in this game so far. It was a flashed effort from Julian Alvarez, which went wide. There hasn't been any other opportunities for City so far in this game. As we've now got over 100 people tuning in right now, so welcome everybody, thanks for tuning in. If everybody left a thumbs up that's tuning in right now, we'd hit 100 likes. How great would that be? Nice and early into the game as well, as Sheffield United managed to get that one clear. Manchester City just working it into the centre. A half clearance comes in from Sheffield United, means Man City can mop that one up through Josko Gvardiol. I was impressed when Gvardiol came on in the second half against Everton. I'm happy to see him starting here as well. Big game for him. Big game coming in for Kovacic. I'd like to see Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva getting involved in this game. Try and create a little bit of space for the striker, Julian Alvarez. See if we can work from there. As we're now 28 likes away from 100 likes. Here's Jack Grealish for City. On the left wing. Works it back to Josko Gvardiol. I think I'm going to include Jack Grealish on that list of Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva players I want to see a little bit more from to help support the striker. Here's Phil Foden, his pass slightly behind Julian Alvarez, so he's had to race another 10 yards further afield to pick that one up. It means Manchester City are going back to their sideways passing, looking for that little either lapse in concentration or a defensive mistake or a slip or something from Sheffield United to give City that half a yard to try and create something. At the moment, City just keeping the ball and doing well. City having nearly 80% of the ball. Grealish works it to Josko Gvardiol. Edge of the penalty area. Here's Rodri. Space did open up for Rodri. I was just about to say, could we see a Rodri rocket, but opts not to go for it. There is an overlap coming in here, though. Kovacic works it back to Jack Grealish. Got nowhere to go, so just works it backwards. To Akanji. And I think City's problem at the moment is our midfield's too far advanced. I'd like to see a couple of the midfielders drop deeper, help support the defences. In terms of the distribution to try and knock it around, because at the moment Sheffield United are covering the gaps really well, and that's a good ball played into space. Sorry, I just got a funny message. Lydia, thanks for tuning in. Says, does Nottingham make chance against United? I think you're always going to create chances against United because they're just so damn open. As that's good defending from Gvardiol in the end, and really good work from Sheffield United to win the ball high up here in the final third. Cross comes in from Sheffield United. Cross comes in, and City just about deal with that one. That was a good ball in. Needing to take the touch in the end works for Manchester City, and City, that's going to go out of play for a throw-in to Sheffield United. So Manchester City just lackadaisical at the mo. Lackadaisical's the word we're looking for. And thanks for tuning in. Good afternoon. Zach said he'd like to see Aston Villa win the Premier League. Doesn't think City will win the league this year. I think at this moment in time, just past halfway, I think the team that's showing the most consistency is the team that sits at the top of the league, obviously, which is Liverpool. Never going to rule out Manchester City, of course. The question has to be, do Aston Villa have enough legs in them to mount a title bid? the thing is, you fancy that City and Liverpool will probably hit north of 80 points, probably looking at 85. Can Aston Villa and are Aston Villa capable of going that extra bit in the second half of the season? Because they're currently on course for just under 80 points. So how do you get them goals? How do you get them results to turn that round second half of the season? That's what they'll be looking for. As Crystal Palace find an equaliser through Olise. Our stream flirted with going off then, and a bit of space opens up. Rodri rocket! Rodri! Manchester City find the opening goal into the back of the net. Not quite a rocket, but it's a low effort into the bottom corner. Sheffield United backing off. One result. Scores a goal in the Champions League final for Manchester City against Inter Milan. And he's popping up again here 2 days before the new year in 2023 to cap off what has been a fantastic 2023 for Rodrigo and for Manchester City. And the all-important opening goal put in by Rodrigo. Manchester City lead here at the Etihad by a goal to nil. Poor defending from Sheffield United. Backing off. Not great. Dad, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Wanting 4 for Manchester City today. I want Man City to keep pushing. Keep going. And if we can do that, keep pushing, get that second goal, get a third goal, kill the game off, move from there. Two boy? Well, that's how you say your name. Anyway, afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. So he's a Hull City fan, presume from Humberside. Good effort from Rodri. It's good to find the opening goal. First phase of the game as well. It's good to see. Really good to see. As we do have over 140 people now tuning in, which is much appreciated. Welcome, everybody. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 100 likes, just 22 likes away. Do subscribe as well. We've got plenty more football and plenty more Manchester City content to come, including as a ball comes in from City. Alvarez finds the header and just wide from Julian Alvarez. City nearly find the back of the net there. So it's Tui, like the airline, Tui boy. Thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. I just realised it's a plane as your picture. It's quite small on my screen and my eyesight's terrible. Needs testing. I'm overdue an eye test. Should probably get it tested sometime. As we're now just 19 likes away from 100 likes. Doing well. We're doing very well. Manchester City here looking to capitalise. Arsenal, they lost at home to West Ham. They've got Fulham away tomorrow. Difficult game. Looking to capitalise, give clear daylight between ourselves and Tottenham Hotspur in 5th place as well. Get that pressure onto Aston Villa playing right now in their home game against Burnley. Things go City's way, we could be 2nd come the new year. And Liverpool got a match against Newcastle at Anfield. You never know. Things could happen. We'll wait and see. And remember, City aren't playing in the Premier League for a couple of weeks. We've got FA Cup action next weekend. That'll be our next live watch-along. Manchester City taking on Huddersfield Town at the Etihad Stadium. And then weekend after will be our next Premier League game away, St James's Park against Newcastle United. So some big games coming up for Manchester City. Not necessarily coming thick and fast. I'm used to Manchester City playing every 3 to 4 days. It's a week to our next game. It's 8 days until our next game. And then it's, I think it's 7 days to our next game after that. And then potentially 2 weeks if we go through in the FA Cup. Which, if we're not knocking out Huddersfield Town of the Championship at the Etihad, whilst we're defending our own trophy, I'll be pretty disappointed with that. So hopefully we will be in the 4th round of the FA Cup. We've not got that many games in January. Does mean we can focus on the daily transfer updates. January 1st for you guys to look forward to. Remember, do subscribe as we're now just 17 likes away from 100 likes. There's not too much happening here since Manchester City took the lead against Sheffield United through Rodri on 15 minutes. City just working it on the left-hand side. Sheffield United once more keeping everybody penned into their own half. They have looked pretty dangerous coming forward and putting them balls into the box. Man City so far have dealt with that very well. Having nearly 80% of the ball, we've found that all-important opening goal. The question is, can we get that killer second goal, that killer 2-goal cushion that will really open this game up? It means Sheffield United have to come out and play if they want to take anything. I wouldn't rule out Chris Wilder just parking the bus here for 90 minutes in the hope that he can keep the score down, and it will only be 2 or 3, because if Sheffield United come out to play and City start to expose gaps in midfield and defence, City will have a field day, and that's why I think people have been saying in their predictions, Man City scoring 4, 5, 6 goals. There was someone who was saying they reckon City scoring as many as 9 today, which makes things very entertaining if Man City do score 9. We'll see. 20 minutes in nearly here at the Etihad. City lead through a Rodri opener. And we want to keep pushing for that killer 2-goal cushion. Alvarez finds Rodri. Rodri rocket. No, he doesn't go for effort on goal this time. He goes for a ball into the box. He'd have been better putting his foot through that, I think. Sheffield United win the ball and get it forward. Should be mopped up for Manchester City, and is. And who else but Rodri to mop that up for Manchester City as well? He's popping up everywhere on that pitch for Manchester City, showing once more just how important of a player he is to Manchester City. John Stone's injured. You need your players around him to be stepping up so we don't feel that absence as much. Rodri very much doing that here for Manchester City. Worked to the centre. Here is that man Rodri now, turning back to the left-hand side. With how deep Sheffield United are sitting, you can't help but feel like that man on the bench, the Ginger Prince, Prince Harry, Kevin De Bruyne are back for Manchester City today on the bench. He could unlock this defence. He's one of them players that makes them big game passes, them big game moments when teams are stubborn, not coming out to play like Sheffield United are here so far. Next goal, crucial. Every goal's crucial, but even more crucial is working the phases of the game, which is what City do so well and have done well so far in this game as well. Oh, that's a poor giveaway from Ake. He does well to mop that back up and get the ball back for City as Motherwell have gone 2-0 up. I think Crystal Palace have found an equaliser against Brentford I saw before. Muddy Duck says, Rodri on fire. And to think a couple of games ago we thought that he might be out for a while, declaring himself fit. Love it. Oh, that's good ball. Good play. Just wide from Manchester City. Julian Alvarez. Bernardo Silva it was. For Manchester City, I'm not sure if Foderingham got a touch on that or not. Well threaded in. It's a good bit of movement from Bernardo Silva, keeping himself onside. He has to go with his weaker right foot rather than his left foot there. Let's have a look. Did the keeper get a touch on this? You bet he did. Gets fingertips onto it. That might have been going in. Out for a corner to Manchester City. What can City do from this? Julian Alvarez to take with City wearing the Club World Champions badge on their shirts with pride. The corner is worked short by Manchester City to the edge of the penalty area. Get a ball into the box. You've got the defenders forward. Bernardo sends a ball in, blocked and cleared. You know, I said this on my last stream, and Manchester City through Phil Foden ended up capitalising on these short corners, but I'm just not a fan of these short corners. Very rarely do they amount to even an effort on goal for Manchester City. You've got tall, physical players, Akanji, Ake, Rodri, Gvardiol. These are players really good in the air. I can't help but feel like you put a good ball into the box from the corner, you're creating an instant opportunity there. It's all about the quality of the ball into the box, and when we're playing these balls short from the corner, suggests to me that Manchester City just aren't confident and don't believe in themselves enough to put a quality ball into the box from the corner, direct, rather than messing around, knocking the ball around, 2 free touches, and in the end, Bernardo Silva's cross into the box doesn't beat the first man from, 4 or 5 yards out. There you go. City now having 85% of the ball, dominating the game. Cruise control, dare I suggest. Here is Josko Gvardiol now for Manchester City coming forward. A good direct ball into the middle. Foden takes a good touch. Work to the left is Grealish. Goes with the outside of his foot and out for another corner. Come on. Get a ball into the box. Ball into the box. The commentator's just going through why City do the short corners, said it takes 2 players outside of the... So they go with another short corner. I'll speak about that in a sec. Work to the edge of the penalty area. Shot comes in and just wide from Manchester City. So the commentator was saying City do it because they want to draw 2 defenders outside of the penalty area to free up a bit of room inside the penalty area. My problem is, I don't have a problem with short corners as long as you're putting something of quality into the box or you are creating opportunities. Often, with how many corners City have, normally 10 plus corners in a game, how often do Manchester City amount anything from these corners? The amount of corners that Manchester City have, I would expect Manchester City to have a better return ratio, and it is, at the end of the day, a good attacking opportunity to score a goal. Often City pass the ball, too busy trying to create something, you allow the defence to close in, and Manchester City rarely get anything put into the box. Worked dividends for Phil Foden in the last game against Everton, but that was the only thing we did from a corner. Worked well then with Kyle Walker. Problem is, to me, you've got world-class football players. You should have the ability to put a ball into the box. Julian Alvarez on corners for Manchester City. A striker taking corners for Manchester City. Now, if you've got a good cross on you, fantastic. But at the moment, you're asking Julian Alvarez to pass the corner. Julian Alvarez is a striker. If you're going to work a short corner, I'd like to see our strikers sitting and hanging around the 6-yard box in case you are able to put a low ball across into the penalty area and create that opportunity. You're taking the striker away whilst not really creating that much from the corner as well. That's a good pass into the channel, and Foden, good defending, really good defending that from Sheffield United to allow Foderingham to come out and gather that one up. Muddy Duck, yeah, I just think that City need... I mean, we don't have Kevin De Bruyne, so... And Ilkay Gundogan took our corners last season, so automatically you're taking away 2 very good corner kick takers for Manchester City. And even then, Ilkay Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne are a bit suspect for some reason from that dead ball situation of putting something of quality into the box. And I don't really get how over the last decade, it's not just a City problem. I watch a lot of football. I see it happening right across the Premier League and right across Europe. Why are teams losing the art to put a quality ball into the box? Time and time again, you know, get a good cross into the box, get your defenders forward, get them attacking that ball. You create a wonderful opportunity. Liverpool are one of the best at it. And for how attacking City are, corners, I think, very underutilised. I wonder if City just feel a bit vulnerable if they put a ball into the box. I've seen a couple of times this season when we've taken a corner that we've been caught out, hit on the counter and conceded. I wonder if City just have that in the back of their minds and they feel like they have more control taking the short corner. Not sure. Navin, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Happy Christmas to you as well, my friend. Andy, thanks for tuning in. Says, timing impeccable as normal. Punctuality, my friend. Punctuality. Love that. It says, come on, City. Let's hope that we've worked on our finishing and we can put the ball into the back of the net. Well, we've grabbed a goal, so I'm very happy. If we can grab a second, I think we can all start to just relax a little bit more. And I think if we can get to a stage, if we go 3-0 up in this game, we can start to really relax, knowing that the 3 points is going to go into the bag for Manchester City, and we can start moving on, and we can start bringing players off the bench as well, including trying to get some minutes for KDB as well today, which would be fantastic. Mike makes a good point. Says we've got some exceptional players. Corners into the box, headers, corners to the edge of the box. Walker has a shot blocked well by Sheffield United and out for another corner to Manchester City. I wonder if this is going to be short again. But I agree, yeah. You just got to be a little bit more creative with these attacking opportunities. You know, is this City's 3rd or 4th corner of the game? You've got to utilise them. The creator, thanks for tuning in, going for a 5-1 victory today is his prediction for Manchester City. Shanty, not happy, saying slow football as usual. Low block approach in place from Sheffield United. We do go with the ball into the box. We don't go short. Free kick given against Manchester City as Aston Villa have found a big opening goal at Villa Park against Burnley. Jacob, it is difficult without Haaland. You know, you're taking away another bit of attacking presence for City. Someone who's 6'4", one of the tallest players that we've got. Very physical, quick as well. You know, he's difficult to man mark. The amount of times we saw, in particular last season, Haaland's shirt getting pulled from set pieces. I don't understand why officials don't penalise that more, but here we are for another day for me to speak about the incompetence and inconsistencies of the officials. N says, why did Walker keep taking these moon shots from 50 yards away? I've never seen him score. It's like 2 or 3 seasons ago, I seem to remember him putting in like a 30, 35 yard low screamer for Manchester City. I think that's the only time I've ever seen Kyle Walker successful. And there's probably a reason why Kyle Walker doesn't score that many for City. Maybe he's looking for a deflection or something. I'm not too sure. Every now and then I think it's worthwhile having a pop. Because you never know. Try it all the time. Don't really need to do it, but here we are. As we're now just 10 likes, we're into the nervous 90s. 10 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well. And saying it's so annoying. It sounds like N is as annoyed by Kyle Walker's long-range efforts as I am by Manchester City's short corners. Oh, Vincent Kompany leading Burnley to an equaliser at Villa Park. It was Leon Bailey that's just given Aston Villa the lead and immediately pegged back by Burnley. Excuse me. Oh, can we get a favour from Burnley today? That would be incredible. Anyway, we need to focus on ourselves. Half an hour in at the Etihad. City lead by 1-0. I mean, we scored the goal, but Foderingham's not been that busy. Here's Jack Grealish, not the greatest of passes. A bit of miscommunication from City. They do really well to scramble that ball back, though, very quickly. Something you come to expect from a Pep Guardiola side, his famous Barcelona side. So good, that 6-second rule of making sure you get that ball back when you lose it. High pressing, absolutely brilliant from Manchester City. Managed so well. When City are in the groove, so difficult to stop. I can argue there isn't a team in Europe or in the world, that's why we're world champions, that when City are in the mood and got it about them, they're very difficult to stop with everyone that they've got at their exposure, which goes to show just how well run Manchester City are. That they've got success, record money being made off the field, and tremendous success on the field. Here's Jack Grealish then for City. Drives to the byline. Cross goes in. Another corner for Manchester City. Is this the moment where we score from a corner? Oh, we go short. The answer to my question is no. Julian Alvarez making his 50th appearance in the Premier League for Manchester City today. Remember, everyone was saying he's a backup player to Erling Haaland. He's not going to get any minutes. He's not going to get any starts. 50th appearance in the Premier League. He's been here 2 seasons. He's starting to get more and more starts. Haaland's injury, of course, getting him more starts. You're seeing him adapt into a new role so far this season as more of that deep lying striker for Manchester City. Here's Nathan Ake then for City. 12 minutes to go till half time. Just 7 likes to go to 100 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you are new around here. Good work from City at the moment. Really good work. Good play into the channel. Rodri goes down. Advantage played by the referee, and that will be a free kick for Manchester City on Jack Grealish in a better position here as well. So good refereeing from the ref. Plays the advantage. Sees that Manchester City could create an opportunity. And they're able to get maybe an extra 5 yards upfield. And another free kick comes in for City as Rodri feeling a lot of pain. I'm not too sure if it's his ribs or his arm that's in pain. I think it's his ribs. I think he's just clattered in the side. Yeah, it's just right in the side, right on the rib cage. He is up, walking about, gritting his teeth. He's just one of them players, isn't he? He's just one of them players. So a free kick here for City. What can they do from this free kick? Looking at about 35 to 40 yards out. Doesn't look like City are lining this up for a shot, so probably going to be a ball into the box. Alvarez stood over it. Bernardo stood over it. It's an opportunity. Possibly to the back post. Ake goes up. And then the offside flag goes up. There we go. Okay. George, thanks for tuning in, says Sheffield likely to surprise Manchester City. I think if City can find that second goal, I think that will be the game. City have grabbed the first goal. Sheffield United need to stick at it. At the moment, the only creative spark Sheffield United have had in this game is coming forward and putting crosses into the box. Although that was given away by Manchester City. Kovacic does well to put a challenge in. Although he's just skipped past. And Jayden Bogle going up against Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol stops the cross from coming in. Time and time again you see Gvardiol going on that left-hand side. And how many times do you see players happy to go toe-for-toe to try and take him on? I wonder, when are we going to see Josko Gvardiol played in his more natural position going through the middle? As that's won back really well by Manchester City. Bernardo Silva, shoulder to shoulder. He's unhappy. He wants a free kick. A lot of the City fans in the stadium unhappy. They want a free kick. I don't think that's a free kick. I think that's strong defending. It is shoulder to shoulder. He's just bigger than what Bernardo Silva is. He's stronger than Bernardo Silva, so he barges him off the ball. He doesn't push him. He doesn't nudge into him. He goes shoulder for shoulder. He's bigger and stronger than Bernardo is. Get another replay of it. Let's have a look at it. It's a great tackle from Bernardo. It's shoulder to shoulder. There's nothing more in it for me. Nothing more. I don't think that's a free kick for City. That push on Alvarez right on the halfway is a free kick for Manchester City, though. Much more obvious. And Man City do have themselves a free kick. And we do get the first yellow card of the game. And it goes to manager Pep Guardiola into the book. Frustrated by that non-free kick on Bernardo Silva. Am I the only one? I didn't think that was a free kick for City. He goes in strong, it's shoulder to shoulder. He doesn't push him, he doesn't barge him, he doesn't lean in. Literally just goes shoulder for shoulder at pace. He's bigger and stronger than Bernardo is. Sheffield United want the offside flag from that set piece. Doesn't come, so Manchester City can have some possession here in the final third as well. Here's Manuel Akanji for Manchester City. There's a VAR check going on at the Aston Villa-Burnley game. I'm not too sure what the check-in is. I've not got the sound on. Maybe someone in the chat could enlighten to me if they are keeping an eye on that Aston Villa-Burnley game. What's happening there? And Kyle Walker just sends a ball across. And Wes Foderingham there. Right place at the right time to gather that one up. Looked onside at a stretch. Good goalkeeping, because I think it was Alvarez ready to follow that in at the far post. And Nadir, thanks for tuning in. Won't be the first time that Jack Grealish needs to take on his man. He never does. He's always looking to get onto his stronger right foot and cut inside. It's good defending from Nathan Ake. Manchester City can come forward. City now having 84% possession. It's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Speaking of remarkable, we're now just 3 likes away from 100 likes. Can we hit it before half time? That would be legendary. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. Plenty more football, plenty more City content to come as Crystal Palace turned it all around. Crystal Palace now leading at Selhurst Park after going behind after 2 minutes against Brentford. Now lead. Elise it was with the first goal linked with a move to Manchester City, of course, in the summer. And Crystal Palace just grabbed their second goal as well. Just waiting for confirmation on who's grabbed that second goal for Crystal Palace. As Manchester City come forward, Kyle Walker takes his man on and commits a foul, and in the process, as it's Eberechi Eze with the second goal for Crystal Palace. Another man linked with Manchester City. I had to say, a little bit of an injection of pace. This game, everyone points towards Haaland. I think this game misses someone like Jeremy Doku. That's a good pass, though, from Rodri. Here's Alvarez in the penalty area to Jack Grealish. Can he put something into the box? He goes low, and it's just fisted clear by Foderingham. Only to the edge of the penalty area. Kovacic goes with a cheeky little chip over the top, and Sheffield United do enough to defend that one out, and that will be Sheffield United coming away with possession. Muddy Duck says, time for City to up their pace, otherwise Sheffield United are slowly going to get back into this. The whole aim of the game there is for them to stick at it, to stay in this game for as long as possible. A second goal for City kills that game plan off completely. At the moment, still not happened. Nadir says, City, frustrating, they're so slow. It's when these teams put the park the bus tactics in. I don't think City have enough creativity. It's a game, I think, that suits Kevin De Bruyne. As Sheffield United go over low ball early, and it's good defending from Akanji. One ball forward, one ball into the box, and just like that, could have been an equaliser for Sheffield United, who for 40 minutes here have done nothing. Really good defending from Manuel Akanji. Stops a certain goal there. Really good defending. He doesn't know anything about it, Akanji. Just puts his feet in the right place at the right time to make a lucky block. So Sheffield United have the first corner of the game. They do put a ball into the box and the header, and it's a good save in the end for Ederson. See? A quality ball into the box. You win the header. You ask the question. Ederson's scrambling. It's a comfortable save in the end for Ederson. But it's a good ball into the box. And once again, you're seeing the power of a quality ball into the box. They can cause problems. 2 in a minute from Sheffield United put of quality into the box. They don't come away with a goal, most importantly, as Aston Villa retake the lead at Villa Park against Burnley, leading by 2-1. Muddy Duck says that was a wake-up call, just like I was saying. Come on, City, we don't want to give away a goal just before half-time. Spot on. Absolutely spot on there from Muddy Duck. I'm happy that the shots come in and Ederson's made the save. It'll make him feel better. Obviously, people pay attention to, we've only one shot on target and they've got a goal from it. Not today. City keep a clean sheet today. We win the game. Here's Rodri, has a shot, and it's blocked well by Sheffield United. Can City regain the possession? They can from the loose second ball. It's Moussa Diaby with a goal for Aston Villa. Here is Rodri to Kovacic. There's no space out wide, and it's given away from Manchester City. And here comes Sheffield United coming forward. Good feet shown, and that's a cynical foul from Kovacic. It's a free kick. I reckon a yellow card, yep, into the book as well. 2.5 minutes remaining, plus whatever's to be added on here. There is a VAR check at Villa Park, I presume, for the goal. I'm not too sure what they're checking. And what's happening remains to be seen. Kovacic into the book. Pep Guardiola into the book. Manchester City are leading here. as we do hit over 100 likes before half-time, so salute to you guys. Much appreciated. Thank you everybody for leaving a thumbs up. We're going to aim now for 120 likes. Any help towards that would be fantastic. So a set piece here for Sheffield United. They choose to just pass it. They're going to go for a deep ball to the far post, and Manchester City do just enough. They do have to concede the corner though, and Sheffield United, the fans, I can hear them celebrating at the opposite end of the stadium. They're happy with that. Can they put another quality ball into the box and test Ederson once more? Stephen, hello. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Not heard anything from that VAR check at Aston Villa as of yet, so I presume that the goal does stand. Sheffield United then, they're not faffing around. That's just going to be a ball into the box and more defending here for City to do just before half-time. Oli Norwood with the ball in, headed clear. Rebound comes in from Bogle and it's straight down the throat of Ederson. And once more, they're coming forward, they're having shots, they're creating opportunities. Manchester City, I think they need that assurance of the second goal here. Sheffield United's confidence is growing. I can't help but feel like their best approach in this game may just be to have a pop and attack Manchester City. If they're going to sit here with that low block in place for the second half, you can see at some point Man City finding a second goal and killing this game off. Last 2 or 3 minutes, Sheffield United have decided to come forward and they've caused Man City problems because there's space there and they do have Premier League quality players. You don't get into the Premier League through being a bad team. How are City going to manage it? Need to make sure we get in at half-time ahead, of course. It'd be great if we could get a second. It'd be a perfect time to grab a second just before half-time. Rodri rocket just over the crossbar this time from Rodrigo. And that'll send us into the 45th minute. So let's see how long's going to be added on here at the Etihad Stadium. Into just 1 minute added on. I think I'm pretty happy to see 1 minute. I'm happy to try and get this to half-time. Get the analysts in at half-time. Assess what they think can be improved for City. And see this out in the second half. Mr. Barnsley, thanks for tuning in. It's a Barnsley fan as well. Much appreciated. All fans of everybody welcome here on my channel. Mike says he's got the Villa game on as well. So I'm relying on you, Mike. You've got a job today. I'm relying on you to keep us up to date with that Aston Villa game. I can only see what's happening from the simulcast. I cannot see what's happening in the game, and I've not got commentary on to know if things are being checked or things are happening or things are being said from that game. So I'm relying on you to let me know if there are VAR checks, what they're checking for, and what the outcome is of them big moments as well. All I know, Aston Villa, they lead by 2-1, and the half-time whistle goes here at the Etihad, and at the moment, it's pretty much job done for Manchester City. They're 1-0 ahead. They're on course for the 3 points. There's been a couple of nervy moments towards the latter parts of the first half. There's areas to improve for Manchester City, but Rodri's goal, the difference here, and all that matters right now, not performances, it's getting them 3 points and capitalising on other teams dropping points around us. That's what we need to do, and at the moment we're on course for that, and I feel like if we are to grab the 3 points, an important 3 points come 5 PM GMT today, then I feel like we need the assurance of a second goal. Mike, thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Muddy says, I'm sure that Pep will be looking to tweak tactics for the second half. It'll be interesting to see what he does do. Maybe we see Kevin De Bruyne at some point in the second half. We'll have to wait and see. Shaquille, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated as well. We've got Derek in the chat, tuning in, I presume from the UK, supporting Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think they're ahead against Everton, actually, at the moment. So thank you very much for tuning in. Raheem says we need to kill this game off. Reckons Gvardiol looking a little bit sloppy for Manchester City. Ruben Dias on the bench if City do need to try and tighten up at the back. So, half-time scores then from the Premier League. Aston Villa leading by 2-1 at Villa Park against Burnley. Crystal Palace leading by 2-1 against Brentford after going behind after 2 minutes in that game. Crystal Palace have come back into the game and overturned that deficit, now leading thanks to goals from Elise and Eze. Manchester City ahead thanks to a goal from Rodri, and Kilman giving Wolves the lead as well against Everton in that match at Molineux. You do have Nottingham Forest taking on Manchester United in the Mark Goldbridge derby taking place later on today at 5:30 p.m. GMT. You got plenty of games north of the border in Scotland, the biggest of them all, the Old Firm. Celtic have beaten Rangers by 2-1. Half-time scores in the Scottish Premier League. It's Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 1. Hearts of Midlothian 0, Ross County 0, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 1, and Motherwell 3, Livingston 1. In the Scottish Championship, all half-time scores: Ayr United 1, Dunfermline Athletic 2, Inverness CT 0, Greenock Morton 0, Queen's Park 1, Edgeronians 0, and Raith Rovers 1, Arbroath 0. Into Scottish League 1, some big scores there: Edinburgh City 0, Hamilton Academical 5 at half-time. You got Falkirk taking on Stirling Albion. It's currently Falkirk 4, Stirling Albion 0. Kelty Hearts and Alloa Athletic has been postponed. Montrose 1, Cove Rangers 1 at half-time, and Queen of the South 1, and an Athletic 1. Into Scottish League 2, a couple of games have been postponed, including Bonnybrig Rose taking on the Spartans and Stranraer taking on Dumbarton. So you've got 3 half-time scores. It's Clyde 0, Stenhousemuir 1, Elgin 1, Peterhead 0, and Forfar Athletic 0, East Fife 0. There we go. You've got some games taking place in Europe. We'll start in Italy, one of my favourite countries. It's finished Atalanta 1, Lecce 0. In the 86th minute, it's Cagliari 0, Empoli 0, and Udinese 3, Bologna 0 in the 89th minute. 5 p.m, you've got AC taking on Sassuolo and Verona taking on Salernitana. And at 7:45 p.m. GMT, a big game happening in Turin, Juventus taking on Roma. Also got games happening in the National League. Sorry, I'm running it in Sky Sports. I'm using them as their half-time score updates. For some reason, going with Serie A ahead of games happening in England, but there we go. You've got some games from the National League. Barnet 0, Southend 0, all approaching half-time or half-time these. Bromley 2, Ebbsfleet 1, Kidderminster 1, Borehamwood 2, and Oldham 1, Hartlepool 0. In the National League North, Blythe Spartans 1, South Shields 1, all half-time scores these. Chorley 1, Spennymoor Town 0. Some reason they've not updated Darlington against Scarborough Athletic unless that's just kicked off. It says 0 minutes 0-0. I don't know what's happening there. You got Farnsley Celtic 0, Scunthorpe 1, Peterborough Sports 1, Bishop Stortford 1, and Rush All Olympic 1, Tamworth 2. On to the National League South, you've got Averley 0, Dover Athletic 1, Dartford 1, Welling United 0, both half-time scores, and Truro City against Torquay United has been postponed. To Portugal, got some scores, both in the 20th minute, Estoril Praia 1, Forense 0, and Gil Vicente 0, Boa Vista 0. You got Casapia taking on Sporting Braga at 6 p.m. GMT, and Portimonense taking on Sporting Club de Portugal at 8:30 p.m. GMT. And that is keeping you guys up to date from around the ground. So we're going to have a look at the stats for this game between Manchester City and Sheffield United. Just heading to the bookmakers, Manchester City 66-1 on to win this game. A draw 16-1. So if City don't add to their lead, and Sheffield United are to hold firm and grab an equaliser and hold on to that equaliser, 16-1 for the draw. Sheffield United to make a comeback win, currently at 100-1. Manchester City dominating the ball, over 80% possession, 82% possession compared with 18% possession for Sheffield United. City with 8 shots, just 2 on target, and found a goal. 3 on shots for Sheffield United, 2 on target, a couple of saves for Ederson, but Sheffield United very much still alive in this game, whilst it is only 1-0. Manchester City had over 400 passes, 439 passes, on course for nearly 900 passes in the game, only leading by a goal to nil, and Sheffield United very much still in this game. Sheffield United 91 passes so far in this match, not managed to create any clear-cut chances, but have created opportunities either from putting balls into the box or from set pieces and corners. Manchester City with 4 corners, nothing amounted from them. 2 for Sheffield United, managed to get a shot on target from theirs as well, so something for City to be wary of. 2 block shots for City, 1 for Sheffield United, 4 tackles, 1 for City, 2 for Sheffield United, and City dominating them aerial duels, winning 6 of their aerial duels, whereas Sheffield United winning just 1. At the moment, Ederson, he's been the busier of the keepers. Made a couple of saves compared with Foderingham's 1. And in terms of discipline, 3 fouls, 1 apiece. 1 yellow card shown in this game to a player, and that's gone to Mateo Kovacic. So I wonder, at some point, maybe 60th to the 70th minute, you may see either Kevin De Bruyne or Matheus Nunes come on in place of Mateo Kovacic. And of course, Pep Guardiola also gone into the book as well for Manchester City, with Phil Foden grabbing the assist on 14 minutes, and it's Rodrigo with the goal for City. So there we go. They have been my thoughts. Get your thoughts in the live chat. That would be much appreciated. I'm going to go and have a very quick 5-minute break, and we'll be back, of course, ready and waiting for the second half. It does mean I've got some halftime entertainment for you guys to enjoy. It is brought to you by my partner channel, Mixid. Links and details there in the description. Go and check them out. Go and like and subscribe over there. This is the Christmas Manhattan cocktail. Enjoy, sit back, relax. Don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Do subscribe. Go and check out Mixid as well. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, and I'll see you ready for the second half.
What's going on, guys? Mixid here, back again for another Christmas cocktail. And today's Christmas cocktail, my friends, is the Christmas Manhattan, and I will show you guys how to make this festive drink. So it's a Christmassy take on the classic Manhattan. So what we're doing is switching up the vermouth with the Christmas variation of it. So what I've done is infused spices with it. So this has got all the spices, so your cloves. So it's got your cloves, your cinnamon, nutmeg, everything you can think of, it is in here, as it's got all the spice. So this is a very festive drink, and I cannot wait to show you guys how to make the Christmas Manhattan. So let's build this cocktail. So we've already put in our 45 ice cubes. So the first ingredient into the tin, guys, is a 45ml or 1.5 ounce or 1.5 ounce of bourbon. I'm using the classic Woodford Reserve. I absolutely love Woodford Reserve. You cannot beat it, in my opinion. There we go, that's the last on my Woodford Reserve. So next into the shaker, guys, is Thunderdor. So it's a brandy, but it's got very sweet caramel tasting notes with it. So 22.5ml or 3/4 ounce of Thunderdor brandy. So what you're looking for is like a toffee or caramel brandy for this one. Because why not? Because it's Christmas. Next, 22.5ml or 3/4 ounce of water. Next, 50ml or half an ounce of Christmas infused vermouth. So if you want to infuse it, because I just leave it a day, that is my recommendation. Because it's really the cinnamon that stands out for this. Next is 10ml or 1/3 ounce of simple syrup or sugar syrup. And last ingredient is 1 dash of orange bitters. Or 2, why not? So put your head on, now give it a good shake, 8 to 10 seconds, get nice and chilled. So for any classic Manhattan drink, it should always be served in a martini glass. Now strain into your martini glass. So with the Manhattan, it's normally served with cherry, but this time we'll go serve it with an orange peel. And there we go, one at Christmas Manhattan. And there we go, Christmas cocktail number 3, the Christmas Manhattan. How does it taste? Anyone that knows me knows I love a Woodford Reserve. It's one of my favourite bourbons to have, and it just absolutely makes the Manhattan. You cannot beat bourbon. I've got a very sweet tooth, I do admit it, I'm guilty of it, but with bourbon and Woodford Reserve, especially with its very, very peaty flavours with it, like I said, with the wood, because it's got the smoky, woody, peaty taste of Woodford Reserve, and it's just absolutely beautiful, and it really, really makes this drink. And that's what you want from a bourbon. You want beautiful tasting notes from it, and it delivers Woodford Reserve. But that is beautiful, especially with the brandy, which I can taste as well, especially with the caramel and the toffee flavours with it. But that is a beautiful cocktail. Can't beat the classics, like I said, but that is my fun little take on it. The Christmas Manhattan. So it's just treating the vermouth with Christmas infused vermouth, which is your cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and whatever you can think of, any other spice as well, and just infuse it, leave it a day, and there you go. And that's what makes this drink. But that, guys, is a Christmas Manhattan. If you're new around here, don't forget to like and subscribe to Mix It for more Christmas cocktails like this, as I will be continuing on with my Christmas cocktails. So if there's any drinks that you want to see, just let me know in the comments below, as this was recommended to me as well by Amanda. So thank you for the recommendation. It's absolutely beautiful. Cheers.
Thank you very much there to Mixed for providing today's halftime entertainment. Do go and check him out. Links and details, they are in the description. We are just waiting for the players to make their way back out for the second half. So JSGC for once is early. Things you love to see. Excuse me. Mixed, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. And Dad as well, commenting on the mic. So I do hope the audio's all crystal clear for you guys and you can all hear me. And hopefully the audio's good as well, which would be good. And yeah, it's got like the lights that flash up on it as well. So yeah, I thought it'd make a nice addition to the JSGC channel. A highly rated mic, so we're going with it. There we go, Mike. Thanks very much for that for your kind comment there. I just think it allows me to do commentary a little bit better. You know, I can move the microphone, I can move it closer, I can move it further away, and it should hold a pretty crisp audio performance, I'm hoping. So yeah, anyway, players, they are making their way back out of the tunnel now. For some reason there was a mouse on the pitch. I'm not too sure how a mouse has got into the stadium, but there we go. I think it was a mouse. It didn't look like it was a rat. But yeah, there we go. I don't know how that's happened. But anyway, players are on their way back out of the tunnel now. Sheffield United first out. Manchester City closely followed behind them. Sheffield United had their team talk from manager Chris Wilder and ready to go. It's Nick. Thanks for tuning in. So it's 2-0 win for Manchester City today. My prediction as well, 2-0 to Manchester City. I had it down as Bernardo and Foden to grab the goals at the moment. Only goal that's come in today for Manchester City is coming from Rodri. They're trying to sort out Mousegate at Manchester City. I think they've lost where the mouse is, and they think he's near the cooler where the drinks are. Where's that mouse come from? Mark, thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I only just seen your comment there. It says Nathan Ake and Ruben Dias, the best defenders at Manchester City right now. I always feel like we defensively look better with Nathan Ake on the pitch. I always think we look better with Nathan Ake on the left-hand side. And I think if you want to go with Josko Gvardiol, I think I prefer for him to go in the centre and Nathan Ake sticks to that left-hand side. But there we are. Manchester City have made their way out now for the second half. I presume that Mousegate is over. And City attacking from right to left. Doesn't look like any subs have been made for the second half. Alvarez that gets us underway. And it's the final half of 2023. Let's do it. Manchester City leading by a goal to nil. Big 45 minutes for Manchester City. Can we capitalise on Arsenal dropping points on Thursday night against West Ham at home. Can we capitalise on Tottenham Hotspur losing away from home against Brighton by 4-2? Beaten Everton away 3-1 in our last game. We can follow up with a win against Sheffield United. Takes us into the FA Cup very nicely, and it gives you a better indication of where we lie in the Premier League, as well as an early shot comes in again from Manchester City. Rodri it was this time, and drags his shot. We saw City do that through Julian Alvarez in the first half as well. Ball just falls very nicely in a shootable range, and don't even take the touch, just go first time on the volley, and Rodri ends up dragging his effort, and it remains 1-0 here at the Etihad Stadium and into the 46th minute. Sheffield United just knocking the ball around. Foderingham doesn't take the greatest of touches, but does manage to find a really good pass out, and Sheffield United have the opportunity here just to send the ball long and get the ball clear. Is given away, though, and Manchester City can come away with the ball. Not the best of passes, though, and that will go straight out of play for a throw-in to Sheffield United. As we're now just 8 likes away from my goal of 120 likes. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. That would be much appreciated. Now less than 20 subscribers away from 32,500, and me being able to say we're now less than 500 subs away from 33k. So if you're new around here and you haven't already, I would appreciate you subscribing. We've got plenty more football and plenty more Manchester City content to come. Excuse me. Is Kovacic for City. Brings them forward. Akanji to the right-hand side. Rodri now has to drop into space. Work by Kyle Walker. Back to Akanji. Akanji pings the ball towards the left, looking for Josko Gvardiol. Can't find him, and Manchester City can mop that up and can come forward once more through Kovacic. Here's Josko Gvardiol. Worked well to the right-hand side. Kyle Walker now. Can't take on his man. Gets away with that, and he can play a ball to Bernardo Silva on the right wing, and City can keep hold of the football into the 48th minute. 1-0 City lead. Rodri now to Kovacic. Doesn't look like too much has changed from the first half, to be honest. I wonder what the analysts have made of it to see what City would do different to start the second half, but it doesn't look like City are doing too much, to be honest. Plurt down the right wing here. Kyle Walker looks like he's brought his man down, and that will be a free kick to Sheffield United. Kyle Walker can't believe it. Good protecting of the ball from the defender, albeit goes down cheaply. Goes looking for the free kick, and referee buys into it. Doesn't help that Kyle Walker just puts a hand onto his back as well, further giving a reason for the referee to give the free kick, and in the end probably the correct decision, albeit do I think there's enough to send a grown man to the floor? Absolutely not, but how many challenges do you see in football that's enough to bring a fully grown man to the ground? Nadir, I think you're spot on. I was mentioning that in the first half. This weird right wing Kyle Walker just hasn't worked. He's a better defender. If Sheffield United want to put pace through the middle and counter-attack Manchester City, Kyle Walker is one of the best players to have available to try and snuff out a counter-attack. He's brilliant at his man marking. He's got the pace to get back. So as long as you've got him as a back three, he works really well. Put him out to the right wing. He's just not got the quality, I don't think, offensively. And Grealish bundled over out for a corner to Manchester City. I think if we're going down this right wing option, I think I'd prefer Rico Lewis to be starting ahead of Kyle Walker and play him on the right wing, because he inverts really well into midfield, because there's not much defensive responsibility today for Kyle Walker. So if we're looking at attacking subs, Lewis would be a good option. Alvarez sends a corner in. Header won by City, but it's wide. See? Put a good ball into the box. Who knows? Ake's header not right, and it goes wide. Goal kick then for Sheffield United. Sent long. Should be won by Manchester City in the air, and is. And out for a free kick. I'm not too sure if it was for offside or for a free kick on Rodri. We are going to see the first sub of the game. Jackie G, not really been his afternoon. Not really done much. Goes off on 51 minutes. And it's going to be Oscar Bobb that comes on for City. I wonder if Oscar Bobb's going to go down the left-hand side. Or maybe they want to do something with Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva. I presume it's going like for like. He's giving instructions though, so we'll see. So Oscar Bobb comes on for Manchester City. Chance to see more from him. So it looks like the instruction is they've asked Bernardo Silva to come into the centre to support Phil Foden. Kyle Walker's going on out to the right wing, and Oscar Bobb comes on and goes kind of like a left back, but he's supporting the striker. So Josko Gvardiol and Kyle Walker are providing the width for City at the mo, and they're going to ask Kovacic to sit in front of the defenders rather than Rodri, and he gets further forward. Surely you'd have wanted Kovacic further forward and Rodri to slot in as that extra centre-back. No? Very interesting. Here's Gvardiol. Finds a pass to Foden. Oscar Bobb, it's not the best of passes from Foden and picked off well by Bogle. I tell you what, Jayden Bogle's played very well, and if Sheffield United take something from this game, I'll be angry, of course, but I'll be bigging up the praises of Jayden Bogle because he's been good for Sheffield United today. Really good in that right wing-back position. He's had a really good game. He's tracked back really well. He's got forward when he's needed to. He's put quality balls into the box. He's defended really well. He's had a really good game, Bogle, for Sheffield United. That's well worked to Josko Gvardiol. Low ball comes in, edge of the penalty area. There's no City player there. Sheffield United will mop that one up. Sheffield United currently 8 minutes into this second half haven't created anything. They haven't got forward. It's been all about Manchester City, but City's still awaiting that illustrious killer 2-goal cushion yet to come. Pio, thanks for tuning in, says, thinks Liverpool will win the league. Greetings from Poland. Welcome, thank you for tuning in. I'm hoping you're going to be incorrect and it'll be Man City breaking records more and more, and City going on to do something no other team in the Premier League era has done, and that's winning 4 in a row. It's looking like it is potentially going to be that Liverpool-Manchester City title race again. We will see. Marius, thanks for tuning in. Manchester City fan, thanks for tuning in as well. Says he doesn't think Kevin De Bruyne should come on because he might pick up another injury. The thing is, if you put him on the bench, then he's fit enough to do something for City. And if you need him, bring him on. Personally, I'd like City to wrap it up and give De Bruyne 5 minutes. Let him run around. Don't go in for any heavy challenges. Let him just knock the ball around in a dead rubber of a game, hopefully, and work from there. If it's competitive, I don't put De Bruyne on that pitch for that exact reason that you just said there. You don't want him to pick up another injury, risk him coming back too soon. It will take 3, 4, 5 weeks to ease him back in. I don't think you'll see De Bruyne start any games for City until the end of January. That's a great touch from Foden. Rounds the keeper and can't get his shot away. Foderingham, really good defending. Brilliant chance for Foden. Surely he's just got to pull the trigger there. Surely he's just got to pull the trigger. Won back again by City. Here's Oscar Bobb to Foden. Oscar Bobb can't. He goes down and it falls really nicely to Bernardo, and he balloons it, he skies it into the stands. And Manchester City, it's probably the best chance we've had since we've scored. So it was Alvarez, not Bernardo. I apologise, as Wolves have gone 2-0 up against Everton. Massive 3 points. Starting to find some form. Wolves actually looking good. It's Cunha with the goal. There's killer second goal there for Wolverhampton Wanderers as well at home against Everton. Muddy Duck says it's got another frustrating draw written all over it. I said it was going to be a frustrating game. I still think City find that second goal. Here's Josko Gvardiol now. 35 minutes remaining of this game. Plenty of time for both teams to score goals. Rodri sends a ball into the box. Not the best of balls. Headed clear by Sheffield United. And nearly a mix-up there by Rodri and Manuel Akanji. In the end, Akanji takes the ball under his wing. And Manchester City can have control of possession in the football. And once more into the final third of Sheffield United. And what can Manchester City create here? Ronnie, thanks for tuning in, cheering on Sheffield United. Drew reckons we're winning this by 1 today. Well, I remember making a point against Crystal Palace when we went 2-0 up and we dropped points. I'll speak more about that in a second because City in the penalty area here. Josko Gvardiol goes low. Good touch from Foden. To the byline goes for the shot. Good block, out for a corner to Manchester City. So I said against Crystal Palace, we went 2-0 up. You need to be able to manage that situation. But more importantly, sometimes you score a goal, and scoring a goal is enough to win a game. You need to be able to see a game out. You aren't going to win every game by scoring 2, 3, 4, 5 goals all the time. Sometimes you need to be able to 1-0 a match. Taken short by City here, the corner, after the last one went into the box. What can we create? Cross comes in. Back to Alvarez. Good touch from Alvarez. Can we get a ball into the box? The defenders are forward. Oh, that's well worked. Zip right across the penalty area, and Sheffield United get it clear. Comes off Phil Foden's thigh and out for a goal kick. Unlucky that from Manchester City. Pio asks Diaz, why is he not playing? He's been ill. He's only just returned back to training, so I presume that that's why he's only on the bench today and not starting. I mean, I'll be honest, Man City's defence hasn't exactly looked that shaky. There was a little 5-minute spell for Sheffield United at the end of the half. Other than that, there hasn't been that much offered from Sheffield United. They're not causing me any concern. They're not knocking on the door at Manchester City, but with how we play, you're always vulnerable to that one chance, that one opportunity. And that is what Sheffield United's patient game is. And if City do end up conceding, we're all saying it in the chat. I see it as well. We can all see it coming a million miles away. Sheffield United, grinding. Forward once, score the goal, come away with a point. So City, we're in this important part of the game. We need to find that second goal. I think City find that second goal. Not only do we go on to win the game, I think we go on to keep a clean sheet. City struggling for a little bit of creativity. They are finding ways now to get Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva more involved in the game since Grealish has gone off. Oscar Bobb's come on, and we're allowing Walker and Josko Gvardiol to provide the width for Manchester City. Out for another corner here for City. Looks like it's going to be whipped in by Alvarez. Something good into the box. Callum, thanks for tuning in. Is whipped into the box. Header won by Ake and over the top of the bar. Goal kick. We're now 7 likes then away from 120 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Sheffield United send the ball long. Cut off well by Nathan Ake. Nor says, will Kevin De Bruyne get some game time today? He wants him to get at least 10 minutes. I think it all depends on how this game's going. If it's competitive, I don't think we'll see anything of De Bruyne today. You get that second goal, I don't see any reason why you can't give him at least 5 minutes. Here's Josko Gvardiol. City having still over 80% possession in the game overall so far. Lots of possession. Not too much clear-cut created by City. A game of few opportunities. Could really do with that second goal. Here's City coming forward. To the right-hand side. Phil Foden now. Work to the left. Gvardiol. Have a shot. Have a shot. Blocked. Doesn't beat the first man. Gvardiol once more. There's 4 forward here for City. Rodri's just dropped into the space now. Lovely disguised pass from Kovacic. Worked well to Oscar Bobb. Is he going to put a ball into the box? Oh, that's well worked. And squared across. Tap in. Yes. Julian Alvarez. There is that killer 2-goal cushion for Manchester City. Julian Alvarez, right place at the right time. And City have been flirting with that for the last 5 minutes or so. There's been some great movement around the box. Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, they've found that ball, broken Sheffield United's resistance. And that killer 2-goal cushion for Manchester City should really open this game up. And we'll see if City can push on now and see if we can get a third goal. 2-0, Manchester City lead here at the Etihad Stadium. It's Julian Alvarez with the goal. Lovely work from Bobb in the build-up. Lovely disguised pass into Phil Foden. It's another assist, I think, for Phil Foden. I think he got the assist for the first goal as well. Lovely movement. Peels off his defender. Half the yard. Lovely, well-read bit of football from Julian Alvarez. And there he is. Right place at the right time. It's the kind of goal Erling Haaland scores. Tap-ins, 6-yard box. Right place at the right time. Haaland injured, not training. Up steps Julian Alvarez. Back of the net. 2-0 Manchester City. Marius says, what an ovation Kevin De Bruyne gets. The Premier League's not ready for long-haired Kevin De Bruyne. Is out warming up for Manchester City to a standing ovation from the crowd and a chant of, oh, Kevin De Bruyne. Waves to the crowd. He could be getting some minutes today. Meanwhile, City need to focus. We were 2-0 up against Crystal Palace. Need to be wary of that. Gives us that assurance now. No anxiety around the stadium or with the team. Sheffield United have got to open up. Try and push and grab a goal from somewhere. If they're just going to continue to allow City to have the possession, players' heads naturally will drop. And you imagine that City could have more success before the 90 minutes. What they're going to do to change it, I imagine they're just going to play with the same resistance and look to try and keep the score down, keep it respectable at the moment. 2-0, which is my score prediction for the game. Wolves gone 3-0 up. Craig Dawson against Everton. That'll be the 3 points for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Sander Berge has been sent off for Burnley for a second bookable offence against Aston Villa, and you imagine that Aston Villa now, job gets a little bit easier. It'll be a case of Burnley trying to survive in that for as long as possible, see if they can maybe create an opportunity or two towards the latter parts of the game, try and stick in it, like what Sheffield United's plan was here. And Crystal Palace have just added a third against Brentford, 3-1 up now after going 1-0 behind after a couple of minutes. Brentford took the lead and Crystal Palace responded really well, and it's another goal for Michael Olise for Palace. So they're on course for 3 points. Manchester City on course for 3 points. Aston Villa on course for 3 points. Wolverhampton Wanderers on course for 3 points as well. What's going to happen in the Mark Goldbridge derby is the question. Happening in just over an hour's time. City into the penalty area. Penalty referee. Oscar Bobb has the shot. And cleared. Referee didn't play any advantage there, so he's deemed it not a penalty, the on-field decision there. VAR will have a look at it. I'll need to see another replay as to whether I think it was a penalty or not. My instinct tells me I think Foden goes to ground a little bit too easily. I think that might be the referee's stance and probably VAR's stance as well. Yeah, VAR have checked it and said that they agree with the referee's decision. The on-field decision stands and that will be no penalty. Here's Oscar Bobb. City look good since bringing Oscar Bobb on. Just a little injection of pace. A good substitute that by Pep Guardiola. And I don't think he's done there with the subs just yet today. Now 4 likes away from 120. Doing very well for the likes today. So any help towards that would be great. Sheffield United are twisting now, making the substitution. It's going to be Cameron Archer, former Aston Villa striker, coming on. Scored past his former team as well a couple of weeks back at Villa Park. Nearly got a massive 3 points for Sheffield United that evening. Here's Phil Foden. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, Burnley down to 10th. Sanderberg. Is it Sander Berge? Is that his name? Sent off. Former Sheffield United player, I think. Sander Berge, sorry, is his name. Is it pronounced Berger? I think I saw a meme of it. I'm not too sure. Anyway, they're down to 10 men. Good block that from Bernardo Silva. Oscar Bobb, I think, is going to keep this in, and that will be a throw-in, I think, for Manchester City. Good work that from the City youngster, the Norwegian youngster Oscar Bobb. Out for a corner. Referee says he wants the substitutes to be made before the short corner can be taken from Bernardo. And Sheffield United are going to make the change. It's going to be Cameron Archer that comes on. So it's Slimoni and Osula that comes off. And it's Ryan Brewster and Cameron Archer that comes on for Sheffield United. 23 minutes remaining here at the Etihad. Manchester City making another substitution. It's going to be captain Kyle Walker that comes off. And Rico Lewis that comes on. And Mateo Kovacic comes off. And Ruben Dias comes on. How's that going to work for City? Is that going to be Bernardo back to the right wing? Let's have a look. Corner here. Instruction given by Ruben Dias to Nathan Ake. Takes over from the armband as well. Here's Bernardo Silva now to Oscar Bobb. Julian Alvarez. Is a ball going to go into the box from this corner? Are Man City going to create something from this corner? Just continuing to pass and forced further back, and Man City now just, they've had to drop the defenders back. They find themselves on halfway near enough. It's a waste of a corner. I'm not commenting. No comment. Not giving my thoughts. No comment. Here's Oscar Bobb. Oh, it's a lovely turn from Gvardiol. It's been a much better second half, I think, for Josko Gvardiol. He's looked much more settled. I don't know why he looks more settled in second half than he does first half. He came on in the second half against Everton and looked very settled, looked very good. Sorry, momentarily my stream went off. It's come back now. It's been a pretty good stream, this one, actually. It's not been too far behind real time, I don't think. Now just one like away from 120 likes. Don't forget to subscribe as well. City continuing their theme from the first half, continuing with over 80% possession, 84% possession for Manchester City so far in this game. City leading by 2-0 thanks to goals today for Rodri and Julian Alvarez. That's well won back here by Manchester City, and it's not the best of passes from Julian Alvarez, and Sheffield United can come away with the ball. Excuse me. Still 2-1 at Villa Park. Just keeping one eye on that. City's game's about 5.5 minutes ahead of that game at Aston Villa. So as we wrap up the stream today is when we'll see full time for Aston Villa and what's happening there. It's 2-1 Villa at the moment, but Burnley are down to 10 men. So I'll be surprised if they get anything at Villa Park. But whilst there's only one goal in it, Burnley can stick around and keep it at 2-1 for as long as possible. You never know, they might just be able to sneak up and grab a goal late on there. It's a danger you have when you've not got that killer 2-goal cushion, which is what Aston Villa will be looking for. Manchester City here, we've got the assurance of the killer 2-goal cushion. And we're now doing what I like to call Manchester City coasting, which is knocking the ball around with no real intent, waiting for Sheffield United to come forward so we can try and utilise the space in and around the danger of it you have is if the high press is applied by Sheffield United and they make that important interception, could lead to a crucial opportunity being created. And with Man City only playing with a back three, you could end up with a 3-on-3 or a 4-on-3 situation in favour of Sheffield United, the attacking team. So distribution, if City are going to go down this coasting route, very, very important. I would quite like to see a little bit more support for Rodri being provided at the moment. To me, Akanji's a little bit too far forward for my liking. I'd like to see Rico Lewis tighten up a little bit. And I'd like to see Manchester City kind of take the width away from the game and make this all about midfield. I don't think width is the way to go in this game. It's all about the midfield battle. Might be worthwhile getting Matheus Nunes on at some point, a powerhouse in midfield, to try and take control of the game and grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Physical presence, got height as well, could be a good way to go. Kevin De Bruyne, of course, Mr. Assists himself. No one else out there better at creating an opportunity from nothing like what Kevin De Bruyne can do. Long ball sent forward towards Julian Alvarez, cut off by Sheffield United. Don't forget, they're playing with a makeshift defence today. Ahmedhodzic, the captain, suspended. Egan, injured. Missing some important players at the back. Done a good job so far. As we do pass 120 likes now, which is absolutely brilliant. Now just 18 likes away from my new aim of 140 subs. So any help towards that would be great. 18 minutes remaining here then of this match. Cut off really well. Sheffield United played a pass forward. Gvardiol intercepted it really well. And his pass, too heavy. Stephen says, am I worried we won't sign anyone in January? I'm not too worried about it. It all depends on who leaves. I think we can cope without Kalvin Phillips, because Kalvin Phillips just really hasn't had that many opportunities. And goalkeeper was pressed there by Julian Alvarez, and he just kicks it against his foot. And Foderingham, so happy to see that ball go over the top of the crossbar. It could easily have just gone into the back of the net. It reminds me of Sadio Mane's goal at Wembley a couple of seasons back in the FA Cup semi-final that Zach Steffen conceded that day. And Foderingham nearly caught out there by Julian Alvarez. Good work that from Alvarez. I'm not too sure if Foderingham knew that he was there, is what he was saying. He felt like he were blinded. He weren't too sure that he was there. Anyway, back to Stephen's question. I don't think we'll replace Kalvin Phillips, in particular if he leaves on loan. I think Manchester City will be happy to go with either young players like Mika Hamilton, and a couple of the other young players that we've seen on the bench making up the numbers for City, rather than replacing him for the sake of replacing him. But I presume that we won't see Kalvin Phillips in a City shirt again once he does leave City in January. And with that being said, it would be nice to add a central midfielder. And I think the only player that Man City would be interested in signing in January would be Lucas Paqueta. I don't think he's going to be available for transfer in January. West Ham won't want to sell him mid-season, and his betting allegations haven't been cleared as of yet. So I don't think City will want to touch that until that is sorted. Now, if he does sort that in January, I could see Manchester City maybe asking the question of West Ham and hoping that Lucas Paqueta will force the transfer, which he was happy to do in the summer. But other than that, you know, maybe a youngster or two being added from City. We'll see. We'll see. Anything can happen. It's the winter window. And Foden has a shot and good save from Foderingham, gathers it up at the second attempt. And into the final 15 minutes or so here of this game. Sheffield United send the ball forward. Their distribution out from the back's not been great today. I think Man City have found it all too easy to try and win that ball back, hence the possession stats have been so high. They've done a really good job at snuffing out Man City's attempts to create clear-cut opportunities, But Man City, it's been very much a case of Man City have dominated this game, and once you've found that opening goal, and if you find it in the first phase of the game, in the first 15 minutes like City have, it becomes a very difficult game to manage from a Sheffield United point of view. I think they'll take confidence from the performance, though, if they can keep it at 2-0, maybe even grab a goal back and have a pop to see if they can try and sneak an equaliser, because 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. It does mean, excuse me, that Sheffield United can take confidence from that. They sit bottom of the Premier League. They're going to take confidence from any performance that's got positives in. Going to the home of the Premier League champions and not allowing Manchester City to create anything clear-cut, I think will please Sheffield United. The question is, if they're going to sit tight game after game after game, how are you going to create them opportunities to score? Because they need to score to win. There's a goal at Aston Villa, and Burnley have found an equaliser. Vincent Kompany, we love him so much. He's grabbed an equaliser for Burnley. Or he's leading Burnley to help them grab an equaliser at Aston Villa. And it's things you love to see. Dave, thanks for keeping us up to date there as well. A massive 19 minutes coming up for Aston Villa's season. You've just noticed over the last week or two that Villa's campaign's just slowly starting to slow down a little bit. All teams are going to have little spells where they're not getting the results that they're looking for. But 10-man Burnley, Lyle Foster, equaliser at Villa Park. I mean, that'll be back-to-back games at Villa Park that Aston Villa haven't won. It's great when you play Manchester City and Arsenal at home and you're motivated and you speak about your home form. When Sheffield United come to Villa Park and they're not willing to play football, can you break them down and get the points like City are doing so far against Sheffield United? When Burnley come to town, are you motivated enough on a few days' rest to go out there and get a result? Burnley down to 10 men. It's a must-win game for Aston Villa, and at the moment, on course for just a point. Massive positive that for Manchester City. I spoke about the importance of Spurs losing against Brighton on Thursday and Arsenal's surprise result against West Ham. The Emirates losing by 2-0. Could have been 3 had that penalty been tucked away right at the end. Could have been even worse for Arsenal. So important that City capitalise upon that. And all of a sudden at City, we've gone from 1 win in 6 in the Premier League to all of a sudden, you look at it across all competitions, I think it's 6 in 7. 6 wins in 7 for Manchester City, and just slowly turning that momentum wheel. And we're heading into the second half of the season. Man City love second half of the season. Here is Manchester City coming forward to try and find that killer third goal to wrap up the 3 points here with no doubts at all. Sheffield United have managed to muster the ball back. Work to Foderingham. He'll launch this long. Just given away. It's been the story of Sheffield United second half. Launch it, give it away. They've invited pressure onto themselves, and Manchester City have had enough about them to capitalise. So don't forget, we're just 15 likes away from my goal of 140 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Into the final 11 minutes of the game. I wonder, are we going to see Kevin De Bruyne very soon for Manchester City? What a reception he would get. And what is the last game in 2023 for Manchester City? And what a 2023 it has been for the club. Into the penalty area, Akanji. Why is he up at right back? I don't know. Anyway, out for another corner to Manchester City. How many corners is that? Is that 7 or 8 for City now? I remember saying at the start of the stream, City are having 9, 10, 11 corners per game. Yet create very little from them. And it's a great attacking opportunity. There'll be games where City may struggle to score this season. So if you're getting 10 or 11 corners, just putting a good ball into the box could be the difference. As Brooks goes off for Sheffield United and Osborne comes on. Excuse me. Into the final 10 here at the Etihad. City leading by 2-0. Corner taken short by City. Surprise! Mason, hello, thanks for tuning in. Muddy Duck, I presume watching the Aston Villa game against Burnley, says a well-deserved equaliser have been causing Villa all kinds of problems as the ball goes into the box from City. And it'll come as no surprise when I tell you guys that Sheffield United have dealt with that. Balls into the box from City have, in general, been dealt with very well by Sheffield United. You know, they're a team that really know how to defend and defend balls into their box. Just got to be a little bit smarter. Look for that space. There's 11 men behind the ball. Mason says a Spurs fan. Got off to a fantastic start to the season. Derailed themselves. Looked like they were getting back on track. And just a couple of inconsistent results here and there. Just stopped them moving from 5th into 4th and causing them problems. But they'll be looking at the Champions League spots and... I wonder if they start thinking to themselves, do you know what? If there's cracks there, is it maybe Aston Villa, maybe Arsenal that they think about rather than Manchester City? A City on course here to start maybe giving Liverpool some headaches at the top of the Premier League. Man City, of course, will be the team that won't go away. They don't know when to quit. City are capable of doing 10, 11, 12 wins in a row. And that's the big difference, I think, between us and the rest. Liverpool want to win the Premier League. They need to match us. It's very difficult to do. They've done it before, and they've got the points, and they can play, and they do play us, and they've got us at Anfield. So surely Liverpool have got to be confident on that. Question is, Mo Salah heads out to the African Cup of Nations next month. How are they going to cope without him for a month? Luckily for Liverpool, they're not playing that many Premier League games between Mo Salah being at the African Cup of Nations with Egypt. Mason not happy with Spurs and hoping they'll beat Bournemouth tomorrow. Home match as well. I'd be surprised if they didn't. But Spurs, anything can happen. It's been a little bit like our season. I've looked at games and think it should be straightforward, but there's every chance that it might not be. There's been inconsistencies like Crystal Palace at home, 2-0 up, 15 minutes to go. It's a walk in the park. We dropped points in that game. Them dropping them points could be massive come the end of the season. Lead against Spurs. Leeds against Chelsea away from home. Against Liverpool at home. Hoping that little spell's not going to cost us come the end of the season. 13 likes to go then. Manchester City, 6.5 minutes away from the 3 points, and this, considering City have been 2-0 up, has been managed much better than what we did against Crystal Palace. We haven't looked like Sheffield United are going to create much against us. We've not given them a sniff. They had a 5-minute spell in the first half. They didn't take their opportunities. And since then, Man City have managed it very, very well. And I said how important it is about game management and realising the positions and problems that you face in these situations at different points in the game. Manchester City managing this very well here to see the job out and get the job done. You know, we're 2-0 up. We've kept a clean sheet so far. There's 5 minutes remaining in this game. Our last game in 2023. It's been a great 2023 for Manchester City. Breaking all kinds of records, winning all kinds of trophies. You know, it's been a dream 2023, and it'll be a fantastic end to the year. And we bring on and look forward to 2024 and what we're hoping is going to be another very successful year for the football club. Here is Bernardo Silva then for Manchester City. To Rodri. The space on the right. Uses that space on the right. It's a good ball straight to the foot of Bernardo Silva. Left foot as well. Into the penalty area. Foden wants it. He's onto his weaker right foot. And it's just wide. It's a good clean connection that from Phil Foden. Goes just wide. Drags his shot. I think he'll be disappointed. You know, 15 yards out. He thinks that's a real opportunity as well. Space there. It's a good block out for a corner. Shot on target. I think Foderingham would have had that one covered. Another corner for City. Again, taken short. Are we going to create something from this? Foden, ball into the box. It's a good ball into the box and defended really well by Sheffield United and out for another corner to Manchester City. That was a very good ball into the box. And that's a short corner working, but it seems to be every 1 in 4 or 1 in 5. Really good ball into the box. Now I ask the question, rather than passing it around, why can't you just put a good ball into the box straight from the corner? Like that, all of a sudden, you're causing problems. Nearly pays dividend for Manchester City. As it is, another corner, more defending for Sheffield United to do. Oscar Bobb and Julian Alvarez work it short again. Here's Bernardo Silva now. Works it to the centre of the pitch. Rodri on the right wing at the moment. Just keeping one eye on the Aston Villa game. Ball comes into the box from City, cleared by Sheffield United. Tui boy, thanks for tuning in. Stephen says, how much do I think Oscar Bobb would be worth in the open market? I mean, Cole Palmer, it's given away by Foderingham. And good defending in the end by Sheffield United. And they should get it clear. Stop it going out for a corner. Don't get it past Bernardo Silva, though. And City win it up high. And Manchester City can come forward. That's a good ball into the box. Dealt with well by Sheffield United. I mean, you'll be using the going rate for Cole Palmer to decide on how much Oscar Bobb's worth. He's not got as much experience. He hasn't done as much as what Cole Palmer had done for Manchester City at the point of us selling him. We've sold other young players who haven't featured for Manchester City yet, and we've managed to accumulate anywhere between like £5 and £18 million normally for these young players, in particular those that head out on loan. Now, Oscar Bobb's got a little bit more experience. Probably doesn't help that he's not English. What I mean by that is the homegrown market. You get the English tax applied to a player. Oscar Bobb doesn't have that. He may still be classed as homegrown by the club. Not too sure. I'm not sure how long he's been at Manchester City for him to be classed as homegrown, as Jayden Bogle plays a ball into the box. Sheffield United pick the ball up in the box, and there's a chance here, and Cameron Archer doesn't read it properly. And, I think if City were to say, you know what, we're going to cash in on Oscar Bobb, if we're going to include our normal buyback clause and a sell-on fee, I'd probably be pretty happy with somewhere around 20 million quid with the experience that he's got. I reckon in maybe 12 to 18 months, his value could be somewhere close to that of Cole Palmer, depending on what experience again he gets at Manchester City over the next 12 to 18 months. As Sheffield United come forward again, they are twisting now. They want to score a goal. Having a pop, shot comes in from Jayden Bogle. Good block by Manchester City, and that'll be a free kick again. Well managed that by Manchester City. Tui boy, of course I remember you. Got playing as your profile picture, and I said your name incorrectly until you told me it's pronounced like the airline. It's difficult for me to forget. Going for a 4-0 Nottingham Forest prediction. I think United are going to win that game, if I'm honest. I think first goal scorer is pretty crucial. I remember saying in my prediction video, I went with 2-1 United. It's the kind of game that if it was Old Trafford, all pressure's on United and I think they'd crumble. Get it to the City ground, I think there's a little bit of pressure on Nottingham Forest because Manchester United aren't as good. And I would half expect Nottingham Forest to at least take a point from Manchester United. And when the expectation's there is when pressure's there. And I think that'll suit United, and I think they'll come away with the win, is what I think will happen 2-1. Hope I'm wrong. Hope they lose. It'll be funny. Foderingham gets that clear for Sheffield United, only as far as Oscar Bobb, and he's tackled, and that'll be out for another corner for Manchester City. Shaquille, Kevin De Bruyne are not on the pitch for Manchester City as of yet. Going into added on time, I don't think there's going to be too long added on, because there hasn't been that much time wasting, and there's not been that much that's happened in this game, if we're being honest. Perfect chance to send Kevin De Bruyne on for a few minutes. As it is, Sheffield United going with Narrington Davies coming on. And Stephen, you're happy Mark Goldbridge will be hoping there'll be a winner, either for Manchester United or for Nottingham Forest in the Mark Goldbridge derby, of course. Manchester City go for another short corner into the 90th minute then. Let's see how long we're going to be added on here. Just 3 minutes, back to the traditional 1 minute in the first half, 3 minutes in the second. Well, sweet, thanks for tuning in. Says, hi from Italy, love that. Says, I'm learning English listening to you. Loves the language. I am well aware, I have quite a few of my audience have English as an additional language. So, rather than me speak fluently and very quickly like you may imagine for me to do if I was to sit here with another native English speaker, or I was to sit here with my friends or family, I can speak a lot quicker. Whilst we're here on YouTube, I'm well aware that people have got English as an additional language, so I just try and make things as crystal clear as possible with clear pronunciations, slowing down my speech ever so slightly, and making sure everything's pronounced as correctly as what I can, unless it's some of the players' names. Real sticking point for myself. It does happen. Shaquille reckons, could City get a third goal? Stephen, Grealish came off on the 50th minute for Oscar Bobb. He looked okay. I think Pep was just making a change, freshen things up. As we're into the final couple of minutes of the game, so we're nearly on our like goal of 140 likes, so 8 more to go. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. That would be absolutely fantastic. Drew, happy new year to you, my friend. I won't be live again until 2024, so I will see you guys next year. I've been dying to get that joke in. We'll be live again next week, of course, for City's FA Cup third round action as we begin our defence of the FA Cup against Huddersfield Town at the Etihad Stadium next Sunday, 2 p.m. GMT kickoff time. Into the final minute now. Here's Rico Lewis. I forgot Rico Lewis had come onto the pitch. He's barely touched the ball. Not many attacks have gone down that right-hand side. Here's Gvardiol into the penalty area. He can't keep it in, and that will be a goal kick in the end. Stephen, Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. Thank you to everybody for tuning in today. All absolute legends. Thank you to everybody that's left a thumbs up. Thank you to everybody that has interacted with me today. All absolute legends. It's been a great 2023 for Manchester City. It's been a great 2023 for the JSGC YouTube channel as well. And hoping that the success will continue in 2024 as well. And I do hope that everybody that is watching right now and after the game has a wonderful and prosperous 2024, because I will forget to say this at the end. I'm going to say it right now. Happy New Year, guys. Rightio, 10 seconds remaining. Ederson is even going to distribute this. He's just going to keep it at his feet. Referee may as well just blow the final whistle, if I'm honest. He doesn't distribute it. Referee does blow his final whistle. And that is that. Manchester City end their 2023 calendar year with victory today against Sheffield United by 2-0. Thanks to goals today in the first half from Rodri on 14 minutes. And in the second half, thanks to a 61st minute goal from Julian Alvarez. Bless me. I said I'm not feeling too great, but there we go. My score prediction, spot on. Happy with that. 2-0 to Manchester City. I said it wouldn't be a classic. I said Sheffield United would make life very difficult for City. City will struggle with their creativity. It's exactly what's happened in this game. And all we're waiting on now is in the 88th minute at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa 2, Burnley 2. Does have implications here because at the moment, whilst that stays the same, on goal difference, Manchester City will be going second. Arsenal play tomorrow away against Fulham. They pick up any points, they'll go back into second. But, we'll be able to have a good night's sleep knowing Manchester City back into second. Game in hand on Aston Villa. Couple of points behind Liverpool with a better goal difference. So, we will see. I've been informed that it is a penalty to Aston Villa. And Aston Villa have converted said penalty as well. So, Aston Villa have taken the lead against Burnley very late on in the 89th minute. That means Aston Villa move on to 42 points as it stands, and they go 2 points ahead of Manchester City, which means City drop back into third place unless Burnley can do something very late on. We'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, statistics for the game. 82% possession for City, just 18% possession for Sheffield United. Speaking of 18 shots for City, just 4 on target. Not a great return in terms of shots to shots on target ratio. I was hoping City had been working on their clinicalness and finishing in training. And 18 shots, 4 on target, couple of goals suggest maybe not. That does demonstrate just how difficult Sheffield United have made today's game. As the geezer Dan says, it's a great win. It's a really good win today for Manchester City. These are the kind of games where you saw City dropping points potentially through their inability to break teams down. We found that early goal, we managed the game really well, and we pick up the all-important 3 points. City, I mean, they could have done with 6 passes from Ederson right at the end. Took 15 to 20 seconds of him just holding the ball and not passing it. That could have sent us to 1,000 passes in the game. City had 994 passes in this game, just short of 1,000 by 6. Could have been done if Ederson hadn't held the ball for 20 seconds at the end. 214 passes for Sheffield United, more than double what they had in the first half, which was at just 91. Couple of clear-cut chances created for City, 12 corners, no goals from them corners. Nothing clear-cut created for Sheffield United, and Manchester City managed this game really well. Couple of corners for Sheffield United as well, couple of offsides for them, 1 for Manchester City. In terms of defensive stats, 6 block shots for City, 2 for Sheffield United, no surprise. 4 tackles, 1 for City, 7 for Sheffield United. An aerial duels 1, much more dominant for City, 12 compared with 5 for Sheffield United as the ball going into the box. I don't think today was too brilliant from City. That might be something that they want to try and improve on for the next game against Huddersfield Town in the FA Cup, where as games aren't coming thick and fast, I don't think City need to rotate as much in that game, in particular when you've got a winter break coming up in 3 weeks' time as well. Couple of saves for Ederson and a clean sheet for him as well, so kudos to him. Kudos to the Manchester City defence as well. Couple of saves for Wes Foderingham in goal for Sheffield United. And finally, in terms of statistics for the discipline, no fouls committed by either team. 5 fouls, 1 for City, 6 for Sheffield United. 1 yellow card apiece. Yellow cards today for Mateo Kovacic for Manchester City. And for Sheffield United, yellow card going to Jayden Bogle, who I thought had a very good game for Sheffield United. Goal for Rodri, goal for Julian Alvarez, and a couple of assists for Phil Foden. And I think my JSGC man of the match performance today, I'm going to give that to Phil Foden for providing that bit of creativity when we needed it with a couple of assists. Don't get me wrong, I don't think this was Phil Foden's best game that he's ever had for City, but this is a game where we needed that creativity. We needed a player to step up, be in them positions and get the ball across the box and be in that position to help Manchester City to score goals. Did that with the first goal, giving the assist for Rodri, a well-taken goal for him. And then second goal, majestic, the all-important second goal for Manchester City. Great movement from Phil Foden. Lovely reading of the game by substitute Oscar Bobb. And well read by Julian Alvarez to be in the right place at the right time. Erling Haaland-esque inside that 6-yard box, sliding in. 2 goals for Manchester City. We get the 3 points and all pressure now being applied to Liverpool, to Aston Villa and to Arsenal as well. As I said, it's a week off for City. We're not playing for another 8 days. Next time we're in action, we're going to be taking on Huddersfield Town in the FA Cup 3rd round. After that, Manchester City will be taking on Newcastle United in the Premier League. So that's 2 weeks' time that we take on Newcastle United. It's going to be a 5:30pm GMT kickoff time for that for you guys to look forward to. Of course, we will have live watch-alongs for the Huddersfield game and for the Newcastle game for you guys to enjoy. So do stick around. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below if you're watching this after the stream. Get your thoughts in the chat as well. The geezer Dan happy with that, saying a great win for Manchester City. David saying, mate, thanks for your transmission again. Looking forward to our next game. Take care from Punta Cana. Back to the beach. I did not need to hear that right now. Back to the beach. Enjoy it, my friend. I'm only jealous. And Mike saying 3 points. Great win. Blue Moon. See you for the Arsenal game tomorrow. Got to track them. Track the other sides. Liverpool as well. They're playing Monday night against Newcastle at home. Keep your eyes on them. And then we can rest and relax ready for the FA Cup next week, beginning our defence of the most prestigious domestic cup competition in the world. I am just waiting for the final full time in the Premier League. There's currently, I think, 1 to 3 minutes. I'm not too sure how long's been added on at Villa Park. So results from the Premier League: Luton 2, Chelsea 3 in the early kickoff, finished. Currently Aston Villa 3, Burnley 2 in the 95th minute at Villa Park. Important, we're keeping an eye on that. Crystal Palace 3, Brentford 1. Really good win for Crystal Palace, coming back from behind after going behind after 2 minutes against Brentford there at home. Really good win that for Crystal Palace. City win 2-0 against Sheffield United. Wolves waiting for full-time whistle there. They're 3-0 up against Everton. In fact, the full-time whistle has just gone at Molineux, so a big 3 points that for Wolverhampton Wanderers against Everton. So it's keeping things very interesting at the bottom there. Sheffield United, Burnley might be adrift by a couple of wins, but they're still within touching distance. A couple of good results. Drags Luton, drags Everton, drags Nottingham Forest, potentially Brentford as well. They're only going at a point per game, and if Luton, Everton, Forest or somebody can find some form, could just drag everybody else back into it. It is 9 minutes as confirmed by Mike and Dad as well. So there is around 3 minutes remaining of that game at Villa Park. So we're waiting for the conclusion of that game, and then we will know the Premier League table before tomorrow's games. It looks like Manchester City are going to be third rather than second. We're going to be trailing Aston Villa and Liverpool by a couple of points. Liverpool on top at the moment due to goal difference. Aston Villa will take confidence from the fact that they're the first team to reach 13 wins in the Premier League season from 20. Liverpool, City, Arsenal all with 12 wins from their 19 games. City do have a game in hand at home against Brentford to come at some point. I thought they'd have scheduled it in for January, considering January is so quiet. It hasn't happened. It's a short turnaround, so I'm not too sure that game in hand is going to come in January, of course, postponed due to the Club World Cup. It was a game that was meant to happen on the 23rd of December. Arsenal in action tomorrow, away against Fulham. Should be a good game. If we can get a favour from Fulham, that would be fab. And Liverpool, New Year's Day, they've got a match at 8 p.m, I think it is, against Newcastle United. Newcastle United needing some points, really. Finding themselves down in ninth. Their next two games, Liverpool, then Manchester City. Not very easy for Newcastle. Lose both them, they could find themselves dropping maybe as low as 12th, depending on how Chelsea and Wolves and Bournemouth all get along, as there is a little bit of a gap opening up there between Wolves and Bournemouth and Crystal Palace there, separating 11th place to 13th place by 7 points, and Bournemouth find themselves sandwiched in there with a game coming up against Tottenham Hotspur away for them tomorrow. So some big games. Wolves, thought they were going down at the beginning of the season, doing very well. Find themselves on 28 points from 20 games, 8 wins from their 20 Premier League games. Doing really well, in my opinion. I thought they were favourites to go down, and they're literally 4 wins away from staying up and potentially pushing on to maybe into the top half. Maybe a European place if they can continue their good form. Looking really good at the moment, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Thankfully, we've already played them away from home. We've lost that game. We'll have them at home at some point in the second half of the season. And we will go from there. We're still waiting for the conclusion of the Aston Villa game. There's around a minute left there at Villa Park. It is still Aston Villa 3, Burnley 2, leading thanks to a penalty in the 89th minute from Douglas Luiz. Of course, a former Manchester City man, giving Aston Villa the lead once more. They've led 3 times in that game. Can they hold it against Manchester City legend Vincent Kompany leading Burnley from the dugout? As we're now just 2 likes away from 140 likes, so any help towards that would be great. And do subscribe as well, that would be much appreciated. As we're now just 11 subscribers away from 32,500 subscribers. Had a good effort today on today's live stream, so much appreciated. I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. I want to wish everybody a very happy new year. Do keep yourself safe on New Year's Eve tomorrow as well, and for tonight as well. And we'll be back again next weekend for Manchester City's game against Huddersfield and all the build-up. And, of course, daily Manchester City transfer updates happening from January 1st for you guys to enjoy. Righty. Oh, Dalton says, good game from us today. Got gas when I saw Kevin De Bruyne warming up. Sad he didn't come on and get a kick. It is a big shame. Maybe against Huddersfield we might see him return for Manchester City. But it's great to see him back on the bench. He's clearly getting there. City clearly happy with his recovery. He's feeling good and happy with his recovery. It's great to see him warm up. It'd be great to get him on the pitch against Huddersfield. And who knows, 3-4 weeks' time, could be ready to be starting for Manchester City as we're into 100 minutes now at Villa Park, still awaiting the full-time whistle of that big Premier League game. Just waiting for the conclusion of that, then I'll end the live stream there. We'll have my match reaction out for you guys in the next hour. Got my word on that, and we'll be back again tomorrow. We've got another Manchester City Etihad Stadium and Etihad Campus construction update for you guys to look forward to. So, full-time whistle has gone at Villa Park. It has finished 3-2 to Aston Villa. So, Aston Villa goes second, Manchester City into third place. Good win for City today. Still got work to do, ready into the second half of the season. Bring on the ride. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I do hope everyone is safe and well. Take it easy. We're only one like now away from 140 likes. I'm sure we'll hit that in the post-production. Maybe 150. Tui, if you got your question, fire it in right now while I'm going for my outro because I'm going to end the stream within the next 60 seconds. Do go and subscribe to my channel. Social media links in the description and also on the yellow banner if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Get your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're watching right now, very quickly, get your thoughts into the live chat. And also don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 150 likes is the aim. If we do hit 140, can we hit 10 more in the post-production? We'll wait and see. So, I've been JSGC. As you can see, I'm just taking my time to see if Tui Boy's going to get his question in. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I do hope everyone has a great, wonderful new year. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all again real soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks, everyone, for interacting. Mike said, see you, everyone. Great time today. Good input. Massive win for us. Blue Moon, baby. Next stream. Let's go. You never know. 200 likes. Seem to be doing very well on the likes as well. Much appreciated. Anyway, thanks, everybody, for watching. Take it easy. Peace. Ciao for now.